And his name is
Alright, sorry about that, folks. That was a little ridiculous. The John Cena remix of Darude Sandstorm. You heard it here first, folks, on Imperial eSports. We're almost in game, by the way. We are just waiting right now for the players to set up. We finally got everybody here. Give us just another few seconds. Alrighty, guys, here we go into the game with Imperial eSports versus the Imperial Templars today. So we've seen so far in this tournament, Templars and eSports have been pretty close to the top of our standings for quite a while. We have currently, as of the beginning of the week, the Templars started out number 3 spot, and eSports started out number 4. We'll get with Swifter after the game today and find out the current rankings of all these teams. But as it's sitting right now, I've seen a lot of the Templars before, and especially Touch My Willie. What a great support name. Can't wait to see what he's going to be touching tonight. But the mid lane is really the big talk of the town here from the Templars. Babolat has had he was week 1 MVP, had some really awesome plays so far on his, I believe he's played a Lulu and a Zir, mostly a mage-oriented mid laner. But he's done a pretty awesome job at it so far, as well as their jungler Skill Drizzle. Plays a lot of really early aggressive champs that I felt like he did a pretty good job on as well. Coming out of the esports side, so their game we saw, I believe it was just a few weeks ago. Their game was in week 1. It was the very first game that we had cast. I believe it was day 2 of week 1. We had saw them go up against Imperial Crown, guys we've seen a whole lot here so far in this tournament, and they failed. I'm pretty sure they ended up going like 1-1 that game. In any case, they're a fairly strong team. Really, some of their strengths is definitely, I'd say, Rennar in the top lane, and Norm's down on support. Definitely really strong players. Taking a look at some of these bans, it's looking like on the side of esports they have a lot of targeted bans with going for the Jax, Yasuo, and Lulu. And the side of Templars, they're going for a little bit more of some of the OPs. The Gnar is definitely a targeted ban here at Rennar. He does an amazing job at Gnar. Definitely the game I've seen him play in, he played in Gnar absolutely beautifully. But there's still a whole lot of OPs left open. Yeah, they go ahead and leave open the Tom Kench. We still have a Lissandra open. We still have Gangplank. Oh gosh, what else is there? Plenty of... Oh, we still have Teemo, that's right. A lot of really overpowered picks that are still being left open. Not necessarily really overpowered. I guess most of the big ones are out. Something interesting that we haven't seen in this tournament so far is the NA Rengar. I wonder when we're going to have something like that pulled out before those nerfs hit from 6.2. That would be interesting to see. That is very true. So Willie now has Thresh. We officially have the hook to touch them with. So not only is he going to be touching his Willie, he's going to be touching other people's Willie here this game. It should be pretty entertaining to watch, that's for sure. Now with the Fiora Thresh locked in, they do have now the possibility of a split push. Not sure exactly how well if Fiora is going to deal with a Tom Kench if it does decide to go into the bot lane. Excuse me, into the top lane. But, I mean, he does have the Vitals procs that are going to help with shredding out some of that HP that Tom Kench is going to be building. I think it's going to be a pretty tough matchup, though, overall, especially trying to riposte the Devour. But I guess you could probably riposte the Tongue Lash, and it would be just as easily. Anyhow, hovering over the Lissandra as well as Lee Sin here on the side of Imperial Esports. Two also really great pickups. We see Lissandra just does incredible well, especially if she can get like a Glacial Tomb off, excuse me, a Frozen Tomb off onto the Fiora on this other team. Ooh, but the Graves, that was one thing I forgot to mention. Completely slipped my mind. I have no idea how Graves has made it so far into this draft already with nobody deciding to pick it up. I would be a little surprised if they go ahead and hover it here and decide not to. I mean, it's pretty obvious already from the side of esports that they're not going for it, since they already have a top laner. They already have, well, they really have 2 top laners. They have a jungler, but Lissandra more than likely going mid. So still a little unsure. And they decided to go with a Vi Interesting. So really going for a lot of lockdown. They want to be able to get one of these targets and have Fiora and our AD carry here boosted. We should call him boosted, yeah. Really jump on somebody. I believe boosted is our sub for tonight for the Templars. Somebody will correct me in a minute if I'm wrong. Look at their roster. Templars. Yes, this is a sub for the Templars. So, yes. And we also have... nope, everybody else is good to go. Okay. Boosted is a... oh, okay. So he is not a sub. Excuse me. Just name changes. New season, new name, new Earth thing. Okay, so fair enough. He goes ahead and decides to lock in that Ezreal. So far a pretty interesting team comp coming out of the Templars already. I like it. It's a good amount of damage. They have some good lockdown and CC. They have the save in there in case that Vi or something like that goes too far. Just grab that lantern, jump on out. But I really like the comp here coming out of Imperial eSports. They have a really heavy spike here during our mid game. Probably around when the champions hit around level 9 to 11. It's going to be a really hefty spike, especially with Lysandra hitting the second tier of her ult. It's going to be doing quite a bit more damage. Even Tom Kench also has a spike on his ult when he does the percent of health with auto attacks. So really this team is looking to excel around the mid game with Lee Sin being there in the early game to help propel them forward into that really strong mid game. So it's really good. Although in the late game they are going to sort of struggle with the damage that's going to be put out by Ezreal, this Kassadin if that does get locked in, as well as Fiora. But they decided to go with a Victor. A little bit safer pick with... So it's a little bit safer. Sorry, the Twitch chat got me. My brain fried. So Victor being a little bit of the safer pick. Lysandra would have been fun to see, but also not something that's super easy to play against in the lane, especially if he was going to go up against a Lysandra there in mid. Not sure how I would feel about something like that. But in any case, they do decide to lock in... Oh, geez. The champion swaps are so troll this game. So, yeah, anyway, and by the way, for that one guy in Twitch chat thinking that Touch My Willy, a guy named Touch My Willy is actually being serious, no, they cannot ghost on these teams because we are using the in-game spectate mode, which does automatically add that 3-minute delay right after the champ select, which you see now. So, again, looking at some of these team comps, looking at the side of the Templars, I really like, they really go with a more of a standard setup here. They have really strong sort of, I believe the class I saw on Reddit today, they'd like to put Fiora in a Marauder class. It's not quite a Juggernaut, but she's something that's going to be putting out a lot of damage in the top lane, but not necessarily being able to take a lot of damage. So giving you the possibility of having a split pusher, a strong team fighter, or something like that, is to really help bring the team together. Having the high CC jungler, the control mage in mid, a AD carry. There really isn't a whole lot of subclasses of AD carry, just pretty much one that's going to put out damage. Obviously with Ezreal you're going to be a little bit safer here into some of these team fights and lanes, but as far as really fitting a meta pick that AD carries are concerned, there isn't a whole lot of actual variety with the exception of maybe like a Caitlyn or a Vayne, which are more targeted towards certain ideas. And then Thresh for some of your good saves and things like that. So overall, really good comps out of both the teams, and I'm pretty excited to see what actually they decide to do here. Give me just 1 second. Alright, so we are going to jump into a little bit of a break. Oh, we got about another minute left, and that's all I have to say about the team comps. So yeah, here we go. We're gonna jump into a little scatting in between just to fill the void. So here we go. Here's Scatman John Larkin, who is the Scatman.
I'm a scat man. I'm a scat Everybody stutters one way or the other, so check out my message to you. As a matter of fact, I don't let nothing hold you back. If the scat man can do it, so can you. Everybody's saying that the scat man stutters but doesn't never stutter when he sings. But what you don't know, I'm gonna tell you right now that the stutter and the scat is the same thing. Yo, I'm the scat man. Where's the scat man? I'm the scat man. Why should we be pleasing any politician reasons who would try to cheat the seasons if they could? The state of the condition insults my intuition and it only makes me crazy and hard like wood. Everybody stutters one way or the other, so check out my message to you. As a matter of fact, don't let nothing hold you back. If the scat man can do it, brother, so can you. I'm the scat man. Where's the scat man? I'm a scat man. Repeat after me. It's a Scooby-Dooby melody. I'm the scat man. Sing along with me. It's a Scooby-Dooby.
Alright, and that's enough of that. So here we go, getting into the game. Imperial eSports versus the Imperial Templars. Our first game of the night here. Coming out of the Imperial eSports lineup, we have Rennar in the top lane. The Boy Wonder kicking through the jungle on Lee Sin. Colombian Deft, not an AD carry in the mid lane. I.E. AJ. So just AJ. Sorry. A little slow tonight. AJ bombing through his Corki. Norms being Alistar support in the bot lane. So lots of mastery spam here. I guess everybody has played their champions a few games. Always good to know that not first time Thresh in this game. Speaking of first time Thresh, here we go with the lineup of the Templars. Starting with Touch My Willy in the bot lane on Thresh. Boosted on Ezreal. Babolat bringing in the mid lane with Victor. Skill Drizzle punching through the really spinning through the color spin through the jungle on Vi, and Phoenix Galestorm in the top on Fiora. Kind of interesting that both Ezreal as well as the Neon Strike Vi have really similar back animations. And I apologize in advance for everybody watching this game if we do happen to hover over in the bottom lane and Norms is spamming the you can milk those. It's it happens. It is sometimes funny, but we can all agree that after the first 5 minutes, it is no longer funny. So we'll see what he decides to do about that. As far as item pickups, everything fairly standard. Rennar going to, deciding to go with a corrupting potion first. Really looking to get off some of that early poke, and with him being so innately tanky, I can't say that it's really a terrible idea. But I wonder how it's actually going to stack up against the Fiora. I feel like it's definitely a risky move to go for something that's not quite as tanky. But that's also going to depend on what his masteries do as well. I feel like a Grasp of the Undying is something else that's going to help him stay a little bit safer in the lane. We already see Touch My Willie going in for the Flay. He does get this death sentence off on Norms. The exhaust immediately comes off, and that is going to be him getting out of lane right here. Sending through another Flay, landing down onto AJ. That's going to put quite a bit of damage back, but he does respond with a Phosphorus Bomb right on top of him. And that's going to at least even out the support here. So Willie getting brought down to the size of eSports, but came out ahead. The Templars came ahead in that trade. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and organize down here. The eSports guys can't get in pick order. You got to buy all the champs, folks. It's just one of those things. If you got a job, use your real money. Riot needs it. You know, those money beds don't make themselves. We already have Boy Wonder here coming in for a gank. He riposts the Resonating Strike. Wow, that was a really great play by him. Gets himself right into the corner, riposts pretty much all of the CC that eSports is going to be able to throw at him. And just kind of gets out safely. Only 4 CS behind. So far doing a pretty good job. With that gank, Boy Wonder has put himself a little behind in the farm game. We already saw Skilldozer went back to basic, grabbed the Tracker's Knife, and he already has a sweeper as well, so already going to be denying vision, placing some of his own, and making some really meaningful ganks here in the early game. Especially as soon as he hits 6, it's almost going to be a guaranteed kill. He's really got to hope that he can hit 6 while and head mid lane, just as before Colombian Def does. Not likely, but probably get something like that done after his ult is finished. And almost the death sentence coming off from Willie. They do get that kill there in the mid lane. With the flash prediction, he doesn't exactly... He has to flash afterwards from the frozen path. And that's going to take him out from, I believe, that was the empowered auto attack from Skill Drizzle. Calling that excessive force these days. So a really great job there in the mid lane, sending all 3 members there, knowing that for the most part, Boost is going to be fairly safe as an Ezreal on tower. There's not a whole lot of kill pressure that Alistar and Corki can really put on you if you're Ezreal and on your tower at least. There is a lot of pressure they can put, but not in that situation. It looks like we already see some of that aggressive warding coming in handy for the side of the Templars. They see Boy Wonder going down into the bottom side of his jungle, letting those guys down in bot lane, Willie and Boosted, know that there's a possibility he could get in your way. We did already see Alessandra made her way back to base. Didn't put her behind by too much, going for the Catalyst, the Protector first. So going to be moving into a Rod of Ages. Interesting build, since we do have all of that lockdown here. I would almost think that you would want to move for a Zhonya's first, but really looking to scale in the late game and really keep this game in their favor. So already we still see, for the most part, even CS on both sides. We do have this gank coming up here in the top lane. Phoenix goes aggressive onto Rennar. Skodrissel shows himself, but Rennar is just too far underneath turret. There's nothing they can really do against that. Ooh, and a flash pulverize from Norms lands right onto Willie. The cripple goes down onto him, but can they get the damage off? The resonating strike lands a death sentence off onto Boy Wonder. And it looks like the Valkyrie, as well as the Gatling gun damage, is going to finish off Willie there in the bot lane. A lot burned there from the side of eSports, and they do only grab a support out of it. So with quite a bit of damage being taken on the side of eSports, I wonder if that trade is actually going to work out in their favor. Really, it's going to depend on what Corki can get from this back right here. Does get Sheen, Ruby Crystal, as well as Boots. So definitely a pretty good back. It's going to help with a lot of the burst damage that he's going to want here in this game, as well as provide the health and mobility that he's going to desperately need. It'll be interesting in this game to see whether Corki goes Boots of Swiftness or Sork Boots or Attack Speed. I really feel like the item path for Corki is very versatile so far. Ooh, and the Death Sentence does land from Willie. Gets into the mid lane. The Chaos Storm going down. Columbia Death quickly Frozen Tombs right on top of herself. The Stasis Field is going to land. Hoping to get those auto attacks out, and they do. Babolat finishes it off with that last auto attack. And a great gank there from Willie in the mid lane. They just layer all their CC very nicely, and they're able to pick up that kill. So now we already have 1 kill and 1 assist here coming from Babolat in the mid lane. We saw earlier with the Vi gank coming through. Was able to get 1 kill there. Everybody else on the side of eSports is staying relatively safe. We saw Rednar in the top lane. He's taken a little bit of focus already. But like we said, it's something that as the game gets later, I feel like Fiora is only going to have a more difficult time dealing with this Tahm Kench. So really, as soon as, I guess, that Black Cleaver is what she's going for first, possibly even just going to grab the Phage into a Tiamat, grabbing that Regrowth Pendant sort of points towards that. Do they still call it Regrowth Pendant? Rejuvenation Beads. The beads. Sort of pointing out something to that, but I don't know. We'll see exactly where. That's going to be an interesting where that item path decides to go in the top lane. We do have a little bit of aggression. That's actually their side of the jungle. Never mind. Skurtles is clearing his own red buff. 0 aggression involved, except against jungle creeps. We do have Babolat going a little aggressive here in the mid lane. We do have Skurtles over there to back him up, but comes in a little too soon. Or it's a little too late, rather. Gets underneath the turret, taking a lot of damage from the turret. And Boy Wonder is right back on top of him. Lands the flash auto attack, but the red buff is just not enough damage to finish him off. He had that health potion ticking the entire time, and he's able to get out of this gank. Babolat is really risky, rocking back into the lane here, seeing if he can get something done. And the flash frozen tomb from Colombian Deft finishes off Babolat. Really a great play, and he just went way too aggressive there, trying to find one of those finishing kills. Both Deft as well as Boy Wonder were fairly healthy after those trades. So I wonder what he was thinking going back in for something like that. We see Boosted just putting some of that finishing poke off onto Norms as he walks out of lane. Deft farming back up with a kill of his own. He is going to increase his gold lead, make it so he actually comes out ahead on this now. Trying to figure out what they're going to do here. Just throwing some of the poke damage down onto Skill Drizzle. See if they can actually get something out of it. And if anybody in chat has seen so far, has Rednar actually picked up the Grasp of the Undying? I've only seen it procced on Phoenix. Ooh, and tries to repulse the Devour right there, but it doesn't exactly come out. So it was a good preemptive one. I feel like that definitely could have worked out in his favor. We already have the special delivery has been picked up by AJ. So we can see some possibly really big ganks here coming out of the bot lane. Top lane is pink warded in the river, so Rednar is not going to see that coming. The Templars have a superior vision game right now, from all accounts that I see. So what they actually decided to do with this vision, they're going to take Corki into the mid lane with the package. And looks like they're going to try to siege this tower down. It is pretty much down already, so really just there for moral support. The package does expire. And they're going to have him rotate up into the top lane. We could possibly see a 4-man dive here on a Fiora. She does realize that there's a lot of people missing. And the vision is not in their favor. She just doesn't... Oh, actually, yes, it is red. So they do see them at the Rift Herald. So yeah, she go ahead and backs off. Obviously way too much for her to handle right there. And it looks like Templar is going to use this time. We did have the Rift Herald buff picked up by Colombian Deft in the mid lane. So even more constant pressure going to be coming out. Lysandra has such great wave clear. She already has a Blasting Wand finish, so just enough damage to really clear all these creeps in just a few Ice Shards. But we do have some action here in the bot lane. That Death Sentence landed onto AJ. And we did have Skill Drizzle as well as boosted there to follow up with the damage. So really, I think that the pick ban on this is really going to be looked at heavily in the next game. Letting Willie onto one of his favorite champions with this Thresh is already proving to work out really well for the Templars. He's made an impact here in this middle lane. He's already made quite an impact here in the bot. So I wouldn't be surprised if we end up seeing this being banned in the next game. Boozy trying to figure out if he wants to go aggressive or not in this game. Still not a whole lot going on. So we did have first item buy for Tahm Kench. It's going to be the Sunfire Cape. Pretty good item, because it looks like right here what this is telling me that Renrar wants to go for a little bit more of a split push sort of build. He's going to have the residual damage coming off from the Sunfire Cape, as well as his empowered auto attacks doing that percentage of health. He's going to be able to clear creeps, as well as the Devour and Spit. He's going to be able to clear creep waves pretty fast here. With both teleports going up, we do have this first dragon coming out of the eSports squad. And it looks like we don't really have anybody in position on the side of Templars, so that's going to be easily picked up here from the eSports guys. As we shift up into the top lane, I wonder if we'll finally see some of that aggression coming out. It looks like Phoenix is going to be going for a Ravenous Hydra first. He's got a little bit of both built. It's a little bit interesting that he decides to go for in between both the items rather than just getting one finished off, because the spike that comes from just the Black Cleaver or just the Ravenous Hydra is pretty substantial. With no wards here in the top lane, gonna wonder what he's deciding to do. He does decide to go aggressive there. He waits for throwing off the Dragon Rage. The Devourer lands down. The Ring of Frost locks him up, and that last Frozen Shard takes him down. Three-man gank is successful on the top lane, and Phoenix Hailstorm is taken out. I think that's going to be a top-tier Aura Tower for that. And we do have Rennar is trying to react to this middle lane. Oh, we have Columbia Death coming in at the same time. Both of the teleports used simultaneously, and that is quite a bit of damage going down onto the side of the Templars. And Def is going to be able to take out Babolat's Victor off of that. That was a phenomenal play. The coordination involved in that, absolutely fantastic from the side of eSports. That was really great to see. So they do save their tower here in the mid lane. They take out Babolat, and they're going to get some aggression here. Try to take out this mid lane tower. Not sure what Blue Wonder was thinking right there. He did not have Resonating Strike up to throw onto Ezreal. Looks like they're just going to walk here out of mid lane. Willie with the Flay back in, trying to throw the damage down. Going real aggressive. The True Shot Barrage does whiff everybody. Field goal. But it looks like eSports Squad does move out with their life. So overall, a very profitable trade for them. We do have Columbia Def here waiting on the sides. The Frozen Path is ready. Does he go in? Decides against it. Way too many members there. The rest of his team is looking to collect their earnings and really turn this into a sizable advantage for him. They're only about 2K ahead, so this still is an incredibly close game. Only 1 kill difference between both teams, as well as 1 tower difference. So that 2K could quickly swap into the other side of the map. Just wait and see here. We do have the Boots of Swiftness here, finished on a Phoenix Galestorm. I can't stress enough how strange this build path is for me. He has a sizable amount of CS, yet has no finished items. And immediately goes for Boots too. It's very interesting the way he decides to do it. I'm not a top laner myself. It's really more an off-roll for me, so not exactly sure what he's trying to go with here, but see how it turns out. True Shot Barrage does go on to Columbia Def, but it does miss. Another touchdown Seahawks. Quite a bit of damage landed there from him. With that Iceborne Gauntlet already finished, he does have quite a bit of cooldown reduction as well as damage from those empowered auto attacks. It's going to be helping him out. We're going to have the Rift Herald here go over to Phoenix Galestorm in the top lane. Something he's going to desperately need in order to try to push his advantage. He can't really be a great split pusher right now with him being behind as well as Renar already being incredibly tanky. He's going to go in the bot lane. We do have... Looks like we're going to trade a middle tower here for a bot lane as AJ and Norm stay down there. Taking that out. Is he going to be able to take it out in time? We do have Phoenix is already there to respond. He's got his team at finish. He's going to be able to easily clear out that wave, and they save that bottom tier turret. We saw it down in the bot lane. Corki already used a special package delivery. We did have Boy Wonder there trying to get the insect onto boosted, but he was able to Essence Flux, I believe, out of the way. Arcane Shift, excuse me. But we do have the Frozen Tomb landing on boosted, but the heal comes off just in time and saves his life. Great job there, being able to get out of the lane. The Flash Headbutt Pulverize lands only onto Willie, so not a whole lot of lockdown coming down onto the side of Templars. Still able to kite back. A lot of their members here very weak. But with the wave clear that's coming out of Babolat right now, there's just really not much that they can do on this side of eSports. Looks like they are going to continue to try and siege here. Something to comment on the wave clear that's coming out of both their teams. The way that they have this constructed here with that Death Ray on Babolat, the Mystic shots coming from Ezreal on the side of Templars really brings in a lot of great wave clear. And for the side of eSports, they have Lysandra as well as Corki, which do amazing wave clear as well. So really kudos to them seeing how they can have this game quickly turn against them. Let's say if it did happen that Fiora got ahead and they had to maybe 4v5 against them while they defend against a split pusher, or 4v4 rather. It definitely helps to have that in your back pocket with those wave clear champions. So something to note out there when you're maybe drafting a pick ban phase in one of your games. You definitely need at least one champion that's got that skill. Did I say insect? I must have a stuffy nose or something. Oops. Insect OP. I didn't know Kha'Zix was in this game. So still trying to find their stride here in this game. The Templars fading now to about 3k gold behind with some of those last engages. Renner here making an appearance in top lane. It's crazy the wave clear that just Gnar has, excuse me, that Tahm Kench has from Just the Devour and Sunfire Cape. And Boy Wonder does get the steal onto the Templars. The Headbutt Pulverize coming through on Norms gets the majority of the backline here. We do have the focus shifting onto Deft, and that does take him out, but that wasn't before the skill drizzle went down on the side of Templars. We do have Phoenix trying to get onto the backline, but he's not able to get enough damage in time to take out AJ. Boosted catches out and out of position Norms there, and Alistair does fall. Willie lands the death sentence onto Rennar, but they don't have the damage to back it up. He essentially killed his team right there trying to get the damage down, and Boosted really has to dodge that tongue lashing there. He does not, and AJ is able to Valkyrie in time for the auto attack and take him out. And that was a very great job here from the side of eSports to finish off that fight. I believe we had every member with the exception of Phoenix there falling in that fight, so it was a 4v2. And the Dragon went into their favor. Boy Wonder was able to get into the Dragon Pit and steal it away. So a very great trade for eSports. Definitely showcasing their power here. And like I said earlier, this is a team that's coming from underneath the standings on these guys. So they definitely have something to prove here, and they're showing up big. Going here for a little bit of vision denial from Willie, trying to get something down. I'm interested to see where they're going to start shifting their focus here. We see the majority of the Templars focusing on the top side, and it looks like Xylodazel catches out AJ. Decides to not go in on it. He does successfully Valkyrie away. Interesting enough, we did Norms walking around on the backside. He does get off the ultimate. All of his damage is getting down, but he was able to headbutt Phoenix Galestorm into the middle of his team And now we have Willie here sitting in the middle trying to find his way out. We do have the backline incredibly safe here from the side of eSports. Colombian Def essentially made himself a frontliner with this Frozen Tomb. AJ sort of loses sight of that Victor right next to him and gets quite a bit of damage down on him. And Boosted is able to finish him off with a True Shot Barrage. So we have a 4v3 here, still in favor of the side of eSports, but could have been a little bit cleaner. Some of our target prioritization out of the side of eSports was a little sloppy, as well as the positioning on the side of Templars. Really, it was unfortunate that Phoenix was where he was. That great pulverize there from Norms was able to push him right in the center of his team. That Ring of Frost and then the Frozen Tomb pretty much immediately on top of herself out of Lysandra. Put forward pretty much all of her burst damage, as well as her keeping herself safe in the front line. So it did a really great job of sort of confusing the side of Templars and leaving them with nowhere to go. A lot of aggression here going on to Rendar. He gets the Devourer off onto Phoenix. Looking to pop the Grey Health. He does get something done. The Dragon's Rage knocks Phoenix away. And now it looks like Boy Wonder has got himself in a little bit of trouble. The rest of the eSports crew is coming in to get some action in this play. We do have the package delivery going down. It doesn't land all the damage down, and it looks like Phoenix is going to be able to walk out with his life. Skill Drizzle does fall in between the middle of essentially all of the eSports guys. Went in just a little too far trying to finish off Rendar and Colombian Deft. So again, another trade favorable for the eSports. Tongue Lash does land on the Babolat. Try to get some aggression down, but there's really just not much they can do right now. Without Skill Drizzle being there, they don't have a lot of really tanky champions to go in on these fights. And something to note right here, speaking of tanky, we see the item path here from Skill Drizzle. He decides to go for Asterix Gauge as well as the Cinderhulk enchantment on the Tracker's Knife. Interesting buy here, since effectively he has almost zero resistances on this champion, really only stacking the health, where that is one thing that Rendar is going to be able to excel at, since he is going to do a percentage of his own, I believe it's a percentage of his own health with auto attacks. But still quite a bit of damage going down. So I really wonder where he's going to go next with his build path here. He definitely needs to figure something out if he's going to start coming up ahead in this game and really coming through as the tanky target, because everyone on his team is going fairly aggressive. We do have the ultimate here popped onto Boy Wonder. He did not realize, Galestorm did not realize that Norms was sitting there in the wings. Just kind of headbutts him away. Saying, nah, bruh. Boy Wonder calls to Norms, yo, Norms, body these fools. And he does. Here we have the Resonating Strike missing here onto Boosted, but it looks like he throws out the QSS a little early, trying to get out of that Ring of Frost, but that was a little, he threw out the Ring of Frost, waiting to throw down the Glacial Tomb. And that takes him down fairly easily. So apparently Galestorm knew about Norms in the top lane. Well, he still ran. But, you're right, at this point, he almost has the Black Cleaver finished. So we're looking like he's going to be pretty close to being able to 1v2 in these situations. Especially against these heavily tanky targets. Ooh, and the damage almost finishing off Deft here. The Stasis Field goes down, but able to flash out just in time. Unfortunately, the Dragon's Rage pushed him right into his team, and he's able to pick up that kill on Colombian Deft. Wonder getting back in the Phosphorus Bomb, not able to finish him off. The True Shot Barrage gets a little bit of damage down, but no members there fallen except for Deft on the side of eSports. The Templars walking out with a lot of red health bars. Red flashing health bars, excuse me. Really unfortunate there, that Dragon's Rage kicked by Boy Wonder. Trying to get that damage down onto Victor, but he was essentially almost dead anyway. The need to insect him into his team was a little unnecessary, but come out with the kill in the end. So overall, even trade. So So looking here, just normal buff taken, things like that going on the side of really both sides here. We are having some posturing around the dragon. Seeing, looks like most of the members of the Templars are there. This is a dragon they're going to be wanting to take. They've already let 2 go down to the side of eSports. So trying to get this vision game secured. We do already have Baron is spawned about 7 minutes in. The damage that's coming out of the side of eSports is more than enough to finish out a Baron. Wondering what they're going to decide to do here. They do have the aggression going down. Excuse me, guys. Pardon me. Ah, no, stop. It looks like Bullwinder coming in clutch again with the Dragon Steel. Great job from him right there. Sorry we missed some of that aggression there. We do have Skilldozer going into pretty much all the backline of the eSports. Whereas they are able to take him down fairly easily. Babolat going pretty much head-to-head against Def there, but Rennar was able to finish off the kill. AJ trying to make it out of this right here. We do have the eSports sort of grouping up here, whereas, the Templars were sort of grouping up with the last of their members. You know that is eSports, they're just on the wrong side of the map. That's what threw me off. The Templars here trying to figure out what they can do. Another dragon stolen away from them. Skilldozer is really having a difficult time with these smites this game. I believe he's been present for 2 out of the 3 dragons. So really unfortunate loss by them. Turn down the volume. Sorry about that. Trying to get those dings out of the way for everybody, so you don't have to hear that stuff. So it looks like we do have some posturing here around the side of Baron, while we do have Depth on the side of eSports. And I just can't seem to get that to stop. Depth on the side of eSports is doing some split pushing here. The side of Templars here are going to use this chance in order to siege up here in the mid lane. And they do grab a tier 2 turret out of it. They're going to try to go back and regroup, possibly stop Deft here. The True Shot Barrage landing, clearing out most of the minions. So we'll see if this actually comes out in their favor. Really not a lot of... It was already damaged here pretty heavily. The majority of eSports guys are trying to collapse here. The Templars are trying to collapse, but it looks like Deft is trying to set up a pick on him. Goes into the team, sends off the Glacial Tomb, and quickly takes out Babolat. Essentially deleted right there. Willie gets a death sentence on, but let's see if that is able to do a whole lot here. Deft flashes into the range of the turret, but they are not able to finish off Willie in that trade. And so far, it seems like Templars only lose the 1, but that is the majority of their wave clear, and boosted with a really nice True Shot Barrage. Hits Columbia and Deft there in the back of the team. We do have the team here going on a skill drizzle, and he is caught and taken out very quickly. We see that damage coming down from the Corki, the burst. That Triforce and Infinity Edge combo is just so ridiculous with the amount of damage that can put out. Renna here trying to find something that he can go on. They're probably going to finish sieging this lane now. There's not a whole lot they can get off it with just three members there. Excuse me. So let's take a look right now at some of the... Ooh, looks like Phoenix Galestorm does catch out Norms here on the side of his jungle. He's going to throw down the ultimate. But he does walk away. A grand challenge was not accepted. So much for being able to 2v1 there, Drooby Dooby. I believe he had the chance to prove himself right then. He did not take it. But it was 11-3 Corki. Pretty understandable. I could definitely see that. Not taking that trade. Although looking at the farm here, we do have a pretty impressive farm score coming from the side of Phoenix Galestorm's Fiora. I believe that is probably one of his main saving graces here in this game. With a lot of the global gold going over to the side of eSports, we already see this 5k gold lead. That 60 creep score that he has over his opponent is definitely coming in clutch for him in some of these fights. And the True Shot Barrage looks like he's doing it almost to like ward the map now. With the amount of CDR that he has already though, I can definitely understand where he's going with this. We do have the ultimate here popped from Norms. Saw the majority of the Templars collapsing in on him and decided he didn't want none of that. Ooh, can we see the 1v1 here from Rendar and Phoenix? The Grand Challenge does go down on him. Quickly devoured up. He's going to hold on to him for as long as he can to try to stave off some of that Grand Challenge. Can he get in range to get this last stun off? He dodges the tongue lashing, and it looks like Phoenix is just going to walk out of lane, but really limp out with half health, whereas Rendar is pretty much full HP here. So I said, there we go. That's the late game potential that really Tahm Kench brings into these fights. He just gets so much percentage of health damage down that really makes him a monster in the top lane, especially if he's not taken out early. Boosted. Looks like he was trying to get some damage down here. They really need to watch out. Looks like Def is going to go ahead and back off with 4 members here. They're going to go ahead and concede this tower. But conversely, we do have Rennar, here in the top lane or bottom lane, trying to get a push down on the Templars, but they're sending all their members back. They do have mid and bot lane pushed, so we'll see if they try to decide to group for 4-man in mid. Looks like they decide to do neither. Whole lot of stalemating coming down out of this match right now. Ooh, it looks like they do catch out Touch My Willy very quickly to lead him down. They were able to finish out Columbia Def, just not able to get that Frozen Tomb down on himself in time. Phoenix Galestorm gets pushed to the back of his team, able to get healed out by Boosted. It gets him out, and a lot of the members of the Templars are split up right now, whereas the Norms are fairly close together. Babolat landing the Stasis Field onto the Boy Wonder. Nothing he's able to do. Rennar's trying to take the Abyssal Voyage to get behind him, but it doesn't actually work out in their favor. Skildrizzle kind of charging up his charge right there. Not his charge, his punch thing, whatever they call that. His Vault Breaker, there we go. Charging up the Q. Just really staving off the team of eSports right here. So, Clannon, you think you even go Titanic Hydra? I thought Titanic Hydra was only for the early game, whereas it is switched in the late game for Ravenous. Or is it the other way around? Just so all you folks know, Clannon in our chat is our top laner from the side of Titans. One of the teams that is doing pretty well right now. First seed. I thought so. Thank you, Mihir. I'm assuming that's how you say your name. It's a very cute name. Dual Boy Wonder going within some of the aggression here into the top lane. For some reason decides to QSS out the Dragon's Rage. Really just looking for that last little bit of slow. And the special delivery coming through. Skildrizzle trying to find out where to go. Sends down the ultimate onto AJ to make some distance to get him out. But it's just not enough. The amount of damage that's coming out of eSports right now is so much. And they find 2 members of Templars, and they're going to transition that into a tower lead. More of a tower lead, rather. So here we do have the Baron here, started off from the side of eSports. There's really not much that the Templars are going to be able to do. They still have Rennar creating some pressure there into the bot lane. And Willie sees that. He's going to quickly try to get himself out of this. And they do. Both members are able to get out. So it looks like Rennar kind of a wasted teleport right there. But they were trying to go for a pick. was kind of the... Oh, he could have went for this ward right here. Kind of interesting. He didn't go for a little bit farther back. Maybe that was what eSports pinged right there. Like, yo, why didn't you go to that ward? What's going on? But with the Baron buff minions coming in now, we do have quite a bit of aggression here going into this top lane turret. Really, Def just kind of faking him out with that frozen path right there. Glacial path, rather. Ooh, a huge death ray landing in, hitting almost all the members of eSports. Babolat here. He's really getting those horny eyes, trying to get one of these members taken out. He's really almost going solo, being a frontliner. So really great job here by eSports, able to use this Baron buff. They've gotten their advantage up. They went from 6k to about 10k right now. They might have been a little bit closer to 7 with the Baron buff, so far only about 2,000 damage power play for them, I'd say. But let's see where the next place they could transition that in. Do they decide to go for that inhibitor in the top lane, or do they go for another tower in bot or mid? So we do have to see that they decide to sort of siege up into the bot lane here. Boy Wonder doing a good job clearing out some of the wards behind him. They don't want to get hit with a flank on this one. The amount of pick potential that they have on the side of Templars is pretty high, especially if Ezreal can stay safe, get all of his damage down, if Willie can land a death sentence, and Skill Drizzle can just kind of ult one of the high priority targets. They just need to have everybody collapse at one time. That's really what we need. And probably for Babolat to be able to land a little bit more of those death rays. That poke is definitely one of the main things that's keeping them into this game. It looks like they're turning around, trying to get that aggression down. Skill Drizzle going with the ultimate, gets all the way back onto AJ. They send 2 members in. Really, it's just Norm and Deft are zoning off the side of the Templars. Quite a bit of damage down, but Deft is pretty much staying at full HP. He's probably going to fall back there. Boosted, gets down onto, takes out the Corki, but he still has... Excuse me, Renar as well as Boy Wonder on top of Skill Drizzle there. And a double heal here for the eSports guys. Really great job by them. It was pretty much just Deft as well as Norms zoning out 2 members of the Templars. Babolat as well as, I believe Skill Drizzle was back there as well, which is a lot of damage for their team. With only Phoenix boosted as well as Willie there to go up against the other 3 members of eSports, they just didn't have what it took in order to match up to those guys, especially with Tom Kench being there. Just the amount of innate damage that Tom Kench has. It was just a really tough fight for them. Baron buff is already worn off, but it looks like it's going to be no matter here for the side of eSports. They're going to be able to easily take down this last Nexus turret. Death Sentence here going on to Renar. Boosted doesn't quite have the mana to proc his Mirror mana right here. But we do have quite a bit of aggression here going out of Renar. The Grand Challenge is finished. But it looks like they're going to go ahead and let Boosted finish off that kill. And we have the chase coming out from the side of Templars, trying to maybe find one of them going back. But they do give up. Really, they have to get back and guard this base right here. With one inhibitor being down and both Nexus turrets, it's really a scary game. But this is 5th Dragon for Imperial Esports. Boy Wonder has done such a great job this game, getting all of those smites off and being able to steal, I believe, 3 out of those 4 dragons were all stolen. So started at one point, or at least contested, by the side of Templars. So definitely a great job to Boy Wonder this game, really coming in clutch. So right now, for the side of Templars, really their strategy has got to be, they have to play defensive and essentially get a 5-man ace onto the side of eSports. It's going to be really difficult with this Baron buff, and they're going to use this aggression right now. All members going in. Norm's getting into the back of Pulverize on 3 members of Templars. And we have Boosted is quickly taken out right there. Columbia Def is able to get his Zanyas off, and they do finish him off just in time. It looks like Rendar is going to use that chance, eat him up, and throw him in the mid lane, and this is definitely going to be GG coming from the side of eSports. We see how that dragon, that 5 dragon, is just so much damage onto the team. There's just no way that they can stand up to it. Flashes burn. We're going to have some of the BM here as the tongue lashing comes down. And Deft with the Nexus kill. First win of the night going to Imperial eSports. So overall, a really great game. First game, it was fairly close. We had a really close game here up until about the 15-minute mark. Really, eSports just, they took advantage of a lot of really small leads, and they snowballed that advantage into the win for them. So it was a really great job by them, and I really liked their decision making in this game. There was really good rotations and stuff like, and just overall a solidly played game. We do see Boy Wonder is going deathless here in this game, really showing how well he did in this first game. If there was an MVP vote for this game, I would definitely give it hands down to Boy Wonder. Those Dragon Steals made it so they could finish out the game. Gave him so many advantages. Was able to get some really potent ganks down. His insect mechanics were fairly solid, with the one exception of kicking Bablad in and getting Deft killed. But overall, still really good play. Let's see. As far as the damage dealt in this game, let's see who was kind of leading up right there. And obviously, we see how well that Corki is really going to be doing. Tons of damage out of that Triforce. So, really almost double his entire majority members on his team. As well as Babolat putting the damage down on his team. Really great job there. So we see the damage dealt on the side of the Templars is much higher than the side of eSports. So great job by them, really getting some work done. So we're going to go to a little bit of a break here while we wait for the next game to load up. So guys, any music suggestions in chat? Does anybody want to hear any more weird music that you can play? What's your weirdest song that you've ever heard? Let's hear it. We've already got some of the Russian. What was it, like a Russian weird song person? What was that song? I already closed out the tab. Let's see. We had. Yep, I don't have the tab anymore. Anyway, we had Darude Sandstorm. We had some Scatman. Search 7 years. You got it, my man. Alright, guys. We will be back here shortly with Game 2 of Imperial eSports versus Imperial Templars.
Once I was 7 years old, my mama told me, go make yourself some friends or you'll be lonely. Once I was 7 years old. It was a big, big world, but we thought we were bigger, pushing each other to the limits. We were learning quicker. By 11, smoking herb and drinking burning liquor. Never rich, so we were out to make that steady figure. Once I was 11 years old, my daddy told me, go get yourself a wife or you'll be lonely. Once I was 11 years old. Always had that dream like my daddy before me. So I started writing songs, I started writing stories. Something about that glory just always seemed to bore me. Cause only those I really love will ever really know me. Once I was 20 years old, my story got told before the morning. life was lonely. Once I was 20 years old. I only see my goals, I don't believe in failure. Cause I know the smallest voices, they can make it major. I got my boys with me, at least those in favor. And if we don't meet before I leave, I hope I'll see you later. Once I was 20 years old, my story got told. I was writing about everything I saw before me. Once I was 20 years old. Soon we'll be 30 years old. Our songs have been sold. We've traveled around the world and we're still roaming. Soon we'll be 30 years old. I'm still learning about life. My woman brought children for me, so I can sing them all my songs and I can tell them stories. Most of my boys are with me, some are still out seeking glory, and some I had to leave behind. My brother, I'm still savvy. Soon I'll be 60 years old. My daddy got 61. Remember life and then your life becomes a better one. I made a man so happy when I wrote a letter once. I hope my children come and visit once or twice a month. Soon I'll be 60 years old. Will I think the world is cold, or will I have a lot of children who can bore me? Soon I'll be 60 years old. Soon I'll be 60 years old. Will I think the world is cold, or will I have a lot of children who can bore me? Soon I'll be 60 years old. Once I was 7 years old, my mama told me, go make yourself some friends or you'll be lonely. Once I was 7 years old. Once I was 7 years old.
Where do we go now?
I'm gonna try to go through all the names, everyone. This might take a while. 6. Yeah. Pardon while I spit and establish that I don't play Aka. Legendary blade swinger, I'm feeling like Aatrox, getting more tail than Ari's back. Then vanishing when I'm finished like a collie. That's the way I get shit done. You could choose to be mad at her or say I'm on some bullshit like Alistair, but it's known I'm a threat from the moment I come through. You shed tears, then it's a rap. That's a mumble. The coldest thing flying and I'm living life as a Nivea. Come at me, I go any and flick a flame at your tibia. Scatter every ash when I choose to let my shit bang. I go into overdrive, motherfucking blitzcrank. I burn every brand you wear. My shit's blazing, Cajun, long range.
Alright, wow, that rap was really lame. I should probably look this stuff up before I actually try to play it. Sorry about that. Your raps are normally really lame anyway. Where's some of the music suggestions? Come on now. Come on now. We're looking for the teams are still regrouping, trying to figure out. The Kappa Pride on larger champion models. Dude, memes get me every time. If you ever want me to giggle, just post some pretty good memes. Everybody's asking me the same question. We are getting into a lobby here. So... Alright, I gotta get something going. Let's... here we go.
Yes, my old friend, I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, neath the halo of a street lamp, I turned my collar to the cold and damp, when my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe.
Man, such a good one. By the way, that was Disturbed's cover of Sound of Silence. We are moving into our second game here with Imperial eSports in the lead. It is 1-0 so far in this series. Templars are going to try to get it back this game with hopefully a pick and ban phase with smaller character models. Kappa Pride. So already the first ban still going off against Renar's Nar. He's kind of named after the champion, so I guess, you know, you kind of got to take that one away. Pretty understandable. The Tom Kench getting to take it away this game too. We saw obviously that game. It was such a game changer. Really can't leave it up. I wonder if they're going to... Last game, the Graves was forgotten about. I wonder if that's going to get picked up this game. Looks like a lot of the major tanks are taken out. Looks like eSports are really trying to focus down that. Maybe going for more of an assassination comp this game. Especially with Lulu getting taken out too. Already taken down from the side of Templars. If they go for a lot of assassins and pick potential from the side of eSports, that could really prove to go into their favor. I know that Babylak can play, has a pretty deep champion pool. I think it would be interesting if we could see like a LeBlanc in this game. They are going to go ahead and throw Skill Drizzle this time onto Lee Sin. As far as it being a contested first pick, I'm not sure, because that Graves was still being left open. We still have Graves, not necessarily a big need for a Trundle this game, but that is left open. We do have, again, the Lysandra is going to go over to Deft again. While he had a little bit of a rough time there in the early game, based on all the pressure that was being put on him, he still ended up coming in clutch in a lot of the late game team fights. His frozen tombs, either on himself or on a high priority target, were always incredibly well timed, and he was able to get off his full load of damage before he was taken out, if taken out at all. And then of course we're going to have Boy Wonder on Graves this game. It's just, Graves is such an overpowered champion right now. I can't stress that enough. I feel like this team, they're definitely going to have to build a team comp around really being able to take him out. Because he just does so much damage and gets so tanky. It really makes it a very difficult game. What did they decide to go for here? So, on the side of Templars, where do they go from here? They go for straight damage. Can't exactly go much tankier. They do go for the Gangplank. I feel like that's a good pickup. Gives them a little bit of global map pressure, as well as the Caitlyn to keep it out of range. Ooh, and they decided instead to go for a Jinx. So for a little bit raw damage, incredibly high raw damage, we saw since they took out a lot of the major tanks, it sort of makes sense that they're going for this. There's not a whole lot of super heavy dive pick potential, except for the fact that now they have the Lysandra on the side of eSports, able to jump in Glacial Path into their team Just Ring of Frost, Alter Self like we saw last game. And that could definitely be fairly devastating for them right now. Especially with that Jinx in the back line. It looks like they're going to let AJ have the Corki again this game. Possibly not. I got him hovering the Ezreal. They do decide to lock in the Ezreal. Okay, so they're looking for possibly a little bit more CC for some of these ganks with the Iceborne Gauntlet. And we're going to have Norms playing the support Poppy. Possibly. We might still see Rendar go Poppy top. We have seen that go really well in the LCS for players like Haunter. So this is an LCS. It's better. This is the Imperial Esports League. By the way, if you're just tuning in, this is Game 2 of Imperial Esports versus Imperial Templars. Esports are up the first game. They were able to win with a fairly similar lineup. Not a whole lot of difference coming out. Let's see what support we can get Willie on right now. They need to have something with a lot of peel. I feel like this Nami wouldn't be a terrible pickup. Because once Graves, as well as Lysandra and all them, can get onto their team, yeah, the Alistair probably a more well-rounded pick, since they're going to need a tankier champion on their team, and they decided to go for the Malphite last pick. So a lot of it really doesn't turn to much of a disengage. It turns into more of an engage comp. The trouble I see with this comp right now is that they have the Jinx there in the back line. This is really... entire composition is going to rely incredibly heavy on where he can position himself in fights. Boosted really needs to carefully watch where he's at in order to put out his maximum amount of damage as well as stay out of danger. Because really, if AJ can get in there, excuse me, not AJ, if Deft can get in there with his Glacial Path, get right next to him, lock down Jinx and take her out, then that's pretty much going to be all she wrote for the side of Templar this game. They're really going to have to play this pretty close to the chest. I wonder where this is going to be. Is this going to be a Malphite in the mid? Interesting. I thought they would go the other way around and send Gangplank mid. But this is going to be Babolat with the Malphite mid into a Lysandra. The amount of punk coming up, I wonder if that is going to pay off for them. A full AP Malphite can definitely do quite a bit of damage. So, we are getting into the game right now. We're going to try to get, first game, let us get Genobi in here. Red Rover, send Genobi over into the caster channel. Where's he at? Genobi.
User joined your channel.
Who do we got?
Hey.
Genobi, what's up, man? Alright, so... after that first game, a little rough for you guys.
Yeah.
So what sort of happened in that pick ban phase? We saw another game we saw last night where a lot of OP champions get left up, and that happened again in your game too. A lot of OPs were left up, and not a lot of them were picked. So what exactly were you thinking in that first game? What was your plan?
Well, we primarily don't really focus on like what our team's playing.
Mm-hmm.
Like we usually just kind of pick what we don't want to play into, and then pick to our own strengths. Kind of get what we want. We're usually not too worried about what we're playing against.
Mm-hmm. So again in this game, talking to that, we do have the side of Imperial Esports right now looks pretty stacked. They got the Graves, they got their Lysandra again, they got their Poppy. So a lot of them are kind of flavor of the month picks. Whereas you guys are going for something a little bit different. Looks like probably an AP Malphite mid, and the Gangplank top. Not exactly a different pick, but something that we haven't seen so far. What exactly are you going for this game? Like, without giving away too much, what's sort of your strategy in order to come back?
Well, we have a 100% win rate on GP, not in this tournament, but with our team, you know, in scrims, other practices, and it has a 100% win rate in every region. Like it's pick banned 100% every time.
Right. Yeah.
GP in our opinion, it's the strongest champion in the meta right now if you can play it.
Right, right.
And then for the rest is a little bit of comfort. Alistar is kind of the flavor of the month support right now, and with our comp, more or less, we're trying to get to those kills we couldn't find last game with the Tom and the Alistar keeping us out of the fights we wanted.
Right, which they don't really have that this game. Really, they only have the peel from Poppy as well as Shen that's going to be coming out. So really, all eyes I feel like on this game are not only going to be on Phoenix in the top lane, but also boosted there in the bot. Really, it's going to be difficult for this game with all of the dive potential really that they have on the side of esports.
Yeah.
So out of the first game, if you had to take something away from it, what did you say was your biggest strength in the first game? Where did you guys do really well?
Honestly, we compared to previous performances, we did nothing well.
Okay.
Like, our game was more or less a write-off of what we wanted to do. The team pretty down on themselves. We didn't play to our strengths, and last game was just bad. It was one of our poorest performances we've had with our full roster, especially.
Okay.
And so I don't really have any one thing that I'd like to pick out and say, hey, like, we did that really, really well. You know, we got the first blood. It was kind of sloppy. We took one fight bot lane where they got Willy, and they burned like 2 flashes, like 2 ults, and we did nothing with it.
Yeah, right. I remember that one. I see. Well, looking at this first game, it definitely could go either way. I really like... Okay, so real fast, I just want to ask about the Malphite pick in the mid. Have you guys... Is this something that you're just pulling out last minute? Is this like a last-minute adaptation? Or is this Babolat? Does he play this?
It's something we've played before to flex the Malphite because... and our last time we went through pretty well. But to be honest, the draft client actually picked Malphite. We ran the timer down, so we kind of just threw it on Billy.
So he literally is going random mid.
Yeah,
he just randomed.
It randomed our mid laner.
That is phenomenal.
We've
All right.
played it once before, and it went over well. So we're kind of hoping for the best on that part there.
Well played. Going for the random. It takes some guts. So, anyway, good luck to your boys in this game. Thanks for jumping in with me for an interview here. We're gonna go and get back into the game, Janobi.
All right, take care, man.
All right, you too. Thanks. Alrighty, guys. So, what do you think about that? The random mid laner. Babolat says he's so good, he's just going to random who he plays. He doesn't care. And they get the Malphite. Obviously, not a bad pickup to go random in mid. His lane matchup is going to be probably the hardest part. Picking coming out. I wonder if Lee Sin is going to try to go aggressive here against Graves in the jungle. Graves stays pretty healthy. And for the most part, I can't actually see him being at any point susceptible to counter jungling. He really goes for the Doran's Ring. It's an interesting call here. I really wonder what Babolat went for his Keystone Mastery. Because obviously he's not going to be getting in the face of death very much. I wouldn't be surprised if he went for a sort of Deathfire Touch right here. Let's see, let's have her back in the mid lane again. Sorry to stay here for so long. So we already know that Deft has got Thunderlords. Let's wait for the Seismic Shard to see if... And now just the movement speed. So I don't believe it's Deathfire Touch. Interesting. Not exactly sure where he went with Keystones. Could have been Thunderlords as well. We shall see. We do have the Poppy support here coming out of Norms in the bot lane. Really excited to see this come through. I feel like the Poppy into an Alistar is... I feel like Poppy kind of comes up ahead. Ooh, but let's see. Right now, we already see Willy sort of coming up ahead with his aggression on Alistar. Norm's not exactly able to get him. His Heroic Charge does not get him into range of the turret. So overall, pretty favorable trade here on the side of the Templars. I really like the Jinx AD carry. I feel like it's really undervalued right now in the meta, but it's such a strong champion. I really, it's just really difficult with the positioning, like I've stressed on already. Really interested to see how it turns out for them here. We already see Babolat is already sort of coming up ahead here in the mid lane. Wow, tons of damage going down onto Skill Drizzle. And Phoenix trying to find some some barrel positioning here. Not exactly able to get anything meaningful done. It looks like already we have a CS advantage in the mid lane going to Babolat's Malphite. I mean, I gotta say, this guy instantly wins my MVP vote if they win this game off of that. I will be color me impressed. We do have the first gank here coming from Sexy Shadow. Excuse me, it's from Boy Wonder here in the top lane. That was a really weird Freudian slip. Just named some random person off my friends list. Anyway, oh, so, what's it called? Babolat is running Thunderlords, Swifter says. So, going for a lot of that burst damage. They're in the mid lane. Still going to get that ultimate. He's going to get the Seismic Slam and then the Shard down. There's his 3 procs. So I think once level 6, we're going to see quite an explosion here in mid lane. Wondering how exactly they're going to go against that. We already see, we heard a whole lot of Headbutt Pulverize lands. But it looks like really just one rocket auto attack is going to go down on the AJ. We heard all the hype up here for Phoenix's Gangplank, and already he's sort of falling behind in CS to Rennar up here. Rennar still has his teleport and flash available, whereas Phoenix has neither. So I wonder what exactly he's, how exactly he's going to start coming ahead in this matchup. Where's this damage going to come from, and when we're going to start seeing ganks? Looks like he's going for it based on items. I believe that's the making to a Tear of the Goddess. I wonder if he actually goes Tear of the Goddess on Gangplank. That would be interesting. So looking at our junglers, still fairly normal. We haven't seen Boy Wonder actually go back yet. Graves is such an easy clear. He's just going through and getting as much as he can, really trying to maximize his route. He does actually catch Skill Drizzle, and he's able to steal away the Scuttler from him, the Rift Scuttler. Really great job there. Getting himself in position at the right time. Babolat here CSing really well underneath his turret. Still looking to see. Looks like we already have... Excuse me, they were able to see, I guess, Boy Wonder in the jungle. So the Templars are aware that he's around. So overall, the game fairly stale right now. Not a whole lot going on. The Catalyst again being built by Deft, whereas Babolat has yet to return to base. He has a little bit tougher time clearing the wave. So still looking to he's still looking to get the CS, whereas Deft is able to just throw the frozen shards, go back to base and buy. Ooh, good play there by Boosted. Kind of baiting out to take his shield. A little early on the chompers, but still a nifty idea. Ooh, and the Babolat! Oh my gosh, the ultimate misses! Oh, so heartbreaking there. And we do have the gank here from Boy Wonder there in the bot lane. Able to get a little bit of damage down onto Willie, but not enough to make it a successful gank. And they are going to go ahead and return with a ward there in bot lane. I could have asked for a remake. I'm just not seeing that. Yeah, that is interesting. I could have asked for a remake, but Babolat's got big balls. He said he could do it. We are starting to see those GP barrels getting quite a bit of damage. The flash pulverize going in, but with the norms, what is that called? Oh wow, they landed on the Shen ults on the wrong target. They didn't get down onto AJ, but they do return the kill from it. kill going down in the mid lane. I'm going to go ahead and jump back to 15 seconds to see this. So we do see Boy Wonder watching down here. We have all the aggression down. The Glacial Path goes down. The Frozen Tomb. The smoke screen. The end of the line. Comes back. Boy Wonder picks up the kill. Alright, back to live here. So we actually had... Damn it, Def died too. Why is there so many things happening? Oh, we had a dive there for Skill Drizzle that Def tried to get. Man, there's just so much action. We just can't find a point in time to jump to really make this game worthwhile. So far, the gold lead, even with the 1 kill going over to the side of eSports, it is still a fairly even game. With CS being in the favor of both the mid and AD carry, sort of helping them to equalize that lead a lot. Willie again going for a headbutt pulverize. They didn't have Norms there in time to get a lot of that damage down, and we do have the Super Mega Death Rocket does hit onto AJ. So quite a bit of damage. It's already going to pretty much force him out of lane here. There's not much he can do, and I wonder if Willie's going to take this time to get a roam down. It doesn't look like it so far. So looks like still a lot of aggression here coming out of the bot lane. Willie's looking for those combos that he can get thrown down. Boosted still with a very nice shock strike there landed. We do have Skodoza going and gets himself into the jungle. Kind of confusing there. He really thought he was going to fight a Graves right up against the wall like that. Definitely a questionable call. We can already see with the needlessly large rod as well as amplifying tome. Babolat's doing tons of damage here on his seismic shard. Really the poke that he's got coming out. He's just looking to set up again for his ultimate. As soon as we do have Unstoppable Force is up. He doesn't have a corrupting potion though. A little interesting. I feel like that would have helped him even more in the mid lane. He just went for the straight mana regen instead. We do have Willies making the roam here in the mid lane, trying to see if he gets something to jump, and again the Unstoppable Force misses. But the the Gangplank barrage is able to go on top of it, and they do give Babolat the kill. Man, but he's having such a hard time today with those Unstoppable Forces. Really interesting. Those are so easy to hit. Sorry, I'm not trying to be being rude. Anyhow, but they still pick up the kill in the end of the game. Excuse me, at the end of the play. And Willie, again, is successful in his roams. Doing a really great job here in these games, getting that done. Waiting for that to end up. He gets the pulverize back into the team. Waiting to see if they can get this down. The Super Mega Death Rocket lands, but the Ignite is just not enough to finish him off. The Frozen Tomb onto Boosted. And we have Colombian Deft is able to pick up the kill with a very nice teleport gank down into the bottom lane. Great job there by him, able to finish that out. It was really well played also on the side of Templars. That looked like it was so close to getting that kill. Really, if Jinx would have just taken one more step forward to get that one extra auto attack, they would have had Norm's dead and she might have gotten the movement speed to get out. So here again, we are looking here in the mid lane. I saw it in chat earlier, but it looks like now it is finally at a, a 20 CS lead. No, a 10 CS. Def just hit the majority of the wave, that's why. It was almost a 20 CS lead here in the mid lane for Babolat on Malphite. So kind of interesting that he's doing really well in lane. It's really, he's got to find his point for his Unstoppable Force. It's really the main thing we're looking for. We do have a roam here by Norms. Looking to find... I wonder why... I think Willie could have made the jump onto him right there. We do have Skill coming up here into the top lane, trying to find Rendar. He tried to predict the Shadow Dash, but he does not get it out of him. Rendar was definitely not scared right there. Ooh, and Headbutt Pulverize combo missed. First one missed of the game. Not bad. Can't get them all. And we are starting to see Phoenix is starting to pick up his lead a little bit here in the top lane. He's got the CS by about 10 right now. And then the eSports is going to use this time to go ahead and grab that dragon. They saw that gank there top by Skill Drizzle. And they figured it was a perfect time to go ahead and grab that. Ooh, a very nice barrel placement there from Phoenix Keelstorm. So definitely we're starting to see the majority of the Templars players starting to pick up the stride. Man, those Seismic Shard damage is doing so much. For the people in chat who haven't played up against it, the full AP Malphite is really a beast in games like this. Because it's just innately tanky just from his passive. And the amount of damage he can put out is just absolutely insane. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts to go for a Zhonya's next. It really gives him all the stats he needs. We have both junglers here hovering in the bottom lane, trying to find the gank. They do have the lane bush warded on the side of eSports, so they are going to see Skill Drizzle come in if he does decide to go for a gank. We have Babylite here coming through the back, but Boy Wonder sees him coming. Sort of sends him out with a warning shot there. Boosted getting quite a bit of damage down. Ooh, and Skill Drizzle baiting him in right there. Wow, we see that one Seismic Shard doing so much damage. The collateral, excuse me, the Unstoppable Force goes on top of both AJ and Boy Wonder. Norm is able to finish off Babylite in just that fight. And Graves sends the collateral damage to take out the rest of Skill Drizzle. So it looks like overall a dive that really doesn't go in the favor of the Templars. Really going over aggressive here. Ooh, it looks like Bursted is able to do quite a bit of damage down, and he does take out Boy Wonder, but he's stuck on the wrong side of the map. Willie here is going to quickly fall. Really just to the Sunfire damage right there of Rennar. See if Boosted can actually, he gets the choppers down. He's going to cut off the path of Rennar. He's going to try to execute himself. He does get off the execute in time. Well played there by Boosted to get the execute. We're going to have Rennar here jump back into the top lane. We had the whole time Phoenix was able to get quite a bit of damage down while he did get his one assist in bot lane with his ultimate. So doing a good job. He's at about 80% kill participation so far in this game without even leaving lane. So really using some of the strengths. It was unfortunate they had Babylite sort of a misplay there trying to use the Unstoppable Force on top of the Shen ultimate. They didn't have enough damage. He had already used the Seismic Shard, I believe, as well as the Ground Slam. So he just didn't have the amount of damage to throw out and finish out that kill, and the rest of his team wasn't in range. So hopefully we can find with some of these, as we move into the mid game, we're going to have a little bit more clumped team fights, and I feel like that's really going to show off the power of this Templar squad here. And so far we've already seen Boosted has done a pretty good job so far with his positioning in some of these fights. Kill score doesn't exactly reflect it, but for what he's against, he's done fairly decently. We do have Skill Drizzle here hovering in the bot lane, trying to find something. Phoenix gets off really good barrel placement. Quite a bit of damage down. And Skill Drizzle found Norms there in the jungle, tried to get something down on him. Which is not quite enough. We do have, they're going a little aggressive here on a Skill Drizzle. The flash came from Norms, but he was able to just safeguard out of the way just in time. Ooh, and then it looks like Babylite finds both Rennar as well as Boy Wonder there on the Rift Herald, and they decide to go ahead and pick it up. The collateral damage is just not quite enough to finish him off, and it does go over to the side of the Templars. Almost enough damage there. Babylite almost had that. So what do we see from here? So we have the Rift Herald buff is now sitting on Phoenix. He's already been doing fairly well in game. Skill Drizzle coming in here for the gank. They're not able to land the chompers onto Norms, but quite a bit of damage going down. We do not have the Super Mega Death Ray rocket up, and we have Rednar's ulting in just in time to save Norms there. The Shadow Dash does not land onto Boosted, and Willie's going to go ahead and pulverize him out of the way. The Dragon's Rage lands onto 3 members. And that, I believe, is going to keep the Templars safe on this. Really well played there by Skill Drizzle in order to get the rest of his team out alive right there. Boosted does have a potion running, so I think he'll be able to get out of this fairly safely. Phoenix still down here in the bottom lane, but he's already got that top lane tower taken out. Although the side of... excuse me. The side of eSports was able to return and grab the mid lane turret in their favor. As well as that really far up ward. Trying to get some vision advantage of seeing where the Templars are going to be coming from. Another turret taken. So turn advantage going to the side of the Templars, and they do grab themselves about a 800 gold lead. So not too much. They are down in kills, ahead in gold. It's definitely a statistic that you want to see in these games, because once you get ahead in gold, you can very quickly start transitioning those kills into your favor. We're really looking for these neutral objectives. We do have Dragon up right now. The majority of the Templars are already set around it. We do have a little bit of vision dominance coming from the side of them as well. Although, we also have teleports going on. Pretty much all teleports are up. Something to note: we do have 2 teleports on the side of eSports, so Deft as well as Rennar can get into those fights at any point. And we do see both of them sort of splitting right now. So at any point, they can sort of collapse in here on this dragon. We have... eSports knows about it for the kill, but they have Battleat around the side. It's really difficult to get in for some of these engages when you know that unstoppable force could come out. And there it goes. Right down there on Boy Wonder. The Super Mega Death Thorn goes in, but the flash comes out just in time. They miss out on Boy Wonder. They have the Stand United is going down on him. The teleport is going down on the ward. Right next to Skildrez. Olisandro's about to be into this fight. Yishelplath landing down, and just the damage. A full team of eSports gets their damage down onto Battleat, and he's not able to do much in that fight. Excuse me. So we saw Dragon that time going over to the side of the Templars. It was very nice by Battleat. His idea was trying to sort of get Graves off to the side right there. They didn't want him near the Dragon. Ooh, and a very well placed Chompers there, as well as great plays by Willie, is able to take out Def in the mid lane. As I was saying, Battleat was trying to zone out Boy Wonder there, so they couldn't get the smite on Dragon. But you have the teleport here from Rennar, so almost all globals down from their team. Ooh, they sort of they headbutt him back into the team. We have Norms jumping in the side of everybody, but Boosted is just going absolutely insane right here. Gets a perfect Chompers going down onto Norms, and Skodos is going to go ahead and take the Resonating Strike in and take him out. Boosted is going to try to finish off this turret right here. They do have the rest of their team goes in, and they do get this off fairly easily. 4 members there of Imperial Esports going down. And they're going to be able to move in for the second tier turret. Ezreal's True Shot Barrage takes out the majority of the minion wave. They're not going to be able to easily take out this turret. The flash in by Colombian Def. Oh my gosh, and that Frozen Tomb with so much damage. The Quadra kill from Deft. Wow, that flash Ring of Frost just really tearing them apart. Frozen Tomb right on top of himself, so he couldn't get CC'd by anybody on the team. That was a really great job there by Deft. Wow, and they're going to move directly to the Baron right now. They have all 5 members up. They know what it's time for. Boy Wonder just put out all kinds of damage. Definitely a good call right here. Skodos are here off to the side. We saw his smites in the last game. We're really on point. Can he get it out of mid game? We're going to try to see Norms. He lands the ultimate on him, but it doesn't get him that far from the pit. He's going to try to get in there. He does get the smite off! Again! Skildrizzle, the smiting god! Smites it away. We saw the ultimates from Gangplank as well as Jinx, which were hit in the Baron pit. Looks like we have Willie. He's going to just sort of walk into the whole team. Wow, and the damage that's coming out of Phoenix right now is absolutely insane. They do have the Baron buff up right now, and they're looking to take it all the way. Wow, the damage coming out right there. Boosted still putting himself in a really good spot. Able to land pretty much the maximum amount of damage right here. So it looks like we're looking to... Well, I'm trying to see... Stream is lagging for me right now. I'm trying to make sure that it's not actually stopped. So anyway, a big gold slide in the favor of the Templars. It now brings them up to about a 4K gold lead. Still not a super big amount, but there's quite a bit of turrets in their favor. They do still have the the Baron buff. They're gonna have it on them for I'd say another few minutes at least. It's about half duration, so they got at least another minute to minute and a half of the Baron buff. Let's see, and it looks like they're already positioning here down into the bottom lane. Let's see what all Phoenix can actually get accomplished down here. He is met already by Deft. We have a lot. Members of both teams are here sort of jockeying for position. We're trying to find, really, they have to stay grouped here on the side of Templars in order to keep this advantage in their favor. The amount of lockdown that they have right now on eSports, it just makes it really scary if any of them get caught out. Boosted right here on the front lines of his team. He's got to watch out for something like that. One flash shadow dash from Rednar is going to pretty much lose this team the game right there. Lose this team at least this push. We do have the aggression coming out really hard from the side of Templars. They're able to. Everyone goes back into the team fight, pretty much ignoring the turret here, getting all kinds of damage down. Skilljo's taking the turret aggro. They are able to finish it off very quickly. The Resonating Strike going in onto Deft. They do finally finish him out. They have Graves there sitting on the back line of Imperial eSports. He gets quite a bit of damage down, as well as AJ. But that still has 3 members falling on their team. Phoenix is looking to get in range here with his barrels. We do have boosted. He does land the red... Excuse me, he gets the red proc off on his rockets. And that's going to take both members of eSports, send him back to base. And that's a minigun on the turret. This turret is surely going to fall. True Shot Barrage does not take out any members of Templars here. Is that enough? Are they going to be able to get Phoenix out? I'd say definitely not right here. Goes down to just the turret. Boy Wonder grabs the kill. A little greedy there to go for the inhibitor after all was said and done. They got a fairly good advantage. They got a 3 for 2 in the fight. They had already gotten 2 towers. I'd say they definitely could have walked out with what they had, but Templars are definitely going all the way here for some of these kills. We did see, looking at some of these build items right now, we did see the Zonya's Hourglass picked up from Babolat's Malphite. So an item I said to watch for is it's really great on an AP Malphite. It gets him that armor to help him stack up some of his passive, as well as the AP damage that he needs, especially because he can go in, throw his ultimate in the middle of a fight, get all of his abilities off, and then immediately Zonya's and wait for the next rotation. So again, that's another one of those burst mages that really benefits heavily from a Zonya's. Pretty much a standard build order coming from Graves, as well as the Renar's Shen. He could be going for a Titanic Hydra with the Jarm's Fist. That's what I would expect for him to do, to try to counteract some of Phoenix's split pushing. Second Dragon here going over to the side of Templars. Phoenix here meeting. Wow, how fast Phoenix is able to take out that CS is absolutely insane. His barrels are just landing spot on under Renar. He doesn't get the the center proc on his barrage, but he does get a flash auto attack. And that's going to take out Renar, looking like he almost didn't have any armor at all. With just the Sunfire coming out and only an Essence Reaver, he doesn't even have his Infinity Edge yet. Once Phoenix is able to grab this Infinity Edge, he's even going to be even more of a monster than he is right now. The Malphite ultimate goes down into the team. Quite a bit of damage going down, but they're not able to finish anything up because of the Zonyas as well as the self-frozen tomb on Colombian Death. They're still trying to find a target to go on. A lot of low members on the side. Ooh, the zap just barely misses on a Def there. And we had Phoenix this whole time pushing up into the top lane, getting quite a bit of damage down. He's already taken out the inhibitor turret. Going for the inhibitor. The Shadow Dash lands onto Babolat, takes him out of the game. The minigun proc does hit onto AJ. Ooh, and QSS the exhaust here. Boosted is trying to get out, but he does get shadow dashed on. That is going to cost him his life, but that does net 2 inhibitors here for the side of Templars. So losing 3 deaths. They got about 2 kills there, counting the Rednar in top lane. So it was a 3 for 2 plus 2 turrets on the side of Templar, bringing them up to about a 7k gold lead now. It seems like just about every 3 or 4 minutes they're increasing their lead about 2,000. If they keep this up, they're going to very quickly run away with this game. Man, I got so ton right there. Unstoppable force. That was Malphite's ultimate, I was trying to say. Stoppable. Very difficult. Need some Wawa. Give me just 1 second here, folks. So giving the blue buff here over to Babolat. Trying to... Not exactly needing a whole lot of really mana regen in these fights. Really, I guess, more for the CDR. Because really, this Malphite is all about just blowing his load in the middle of the eSports team and getting his maximum amount of damage done in as quickly as possible. So really, mana regen isn't exactly a thing for him right now. He's just going full on damage. I wouldn't be surprised if his next item is actually a Rabadon's. It looks like the side of Templars are looking for their next Baron. But eSports are all pretty much postured around right here. And they decided not to take it. So far, Skill Drizzle has come up really big for them. Ooh. Norm stops the headbutt right there with the steadfast presence. Trying to get the ultimate off, but the Dragon Rage comes in just in time, and he's not able to ult the Templars away from him. And Norms is going to fall. That's putting him into a 4v5 situation. It looks like Willie is just going to go right in and tank this turret here in the mid lane. Doesn't even have to throw it on the ultimate, and he's not losing any. Has he thrown on the ultimate? He does not. That was not even an ultimate burned from Willie. He just literally doesn't take that much damage. Super Mega Death Rocket misses the majority of eSports team, but they are able to get the dive onto Boy Wonder and take him out successfully. This is going to be the last inhibitor falling for eSports. Another beautiful headbutt pulverized landing, and the focus right there was AJ. Trying to get Zap misses onto Deft, but they do get the headbutt pulverized again with the immediate Zanyas. Rendar throws down the Stand United, gets 2 members of eSports locked up here, excuse me, of the Templars. Babla here is quickly taken out by AJ. AJ is trying to find Boosted here in the bot, and he does get the Mystic shot off. Norms decides to not send Gangplank back to base, and that does give AJ the quadra kill and the ace on the side of eSports. Oh wow, Norms tried to go in and take out the Super Mini and loses his life for it. So that was both Nexus turrets they lost for it. They do lose all 5 members, but with all inhibitors being down, there's just literally nothing that they can do on the side of eSports right now. They have to wait for every inhibitor to come back up, as well as a full ace to come out from their team. So I really wonder what they can do to come back in this game. This is almost surely over. We did end up seeing the Titanic Hydra come out onto Rendar, so he's putting out a little bit more auto attack damage in these fights. He gets that auto attack reset, a little bit more damage done. Which is also, if you think about it, he gets more procs of his Resonating Strike passive off too, giving him even more healing in these fights. So I think that's a good call for him. And it's going to help right now when they have to desperately clear out the creeps from their base. They're really playing on the back foot right now, trying to find some hold here. We haven't seen Battleact come in really huge with the Unstoppable Forces, but Boosted has done a really good job in some of these team fights, getting himself into a good position and getting the damage done. Looks like we do have the Super Mega Death Rocket coming through, and it does land onto Boy Wonder. He's trying to find the damage down onto Willie. Pulverize coming through, and looks like Babolat's going to grab that up with the Seismic Shard. So first member already fallen from eSports. They got the Baron buff, They're making the push here into base. They have had 2 turrets respawn already, so they have to at least take out both of these turrets. Time is definitely not on the side of Imperial Esports right here. It's a dangerous game they're playing. The Chompers do not land. They got the auto attacks are just coming out onto Norms. Booster getting a ton of damage down. Norms is going to ult 2 members back to the base. He gets the Alistar, excuse me, as well as the Gangplank. But it's just not enough. We had both Phoenix as well as Babolat were on the Nexus the entire time, and that's going to finish out the game. Going over to the side of the Templars. Really great game that game. They were able to pull it out with the random mid laner. Very impressive game. I just can't stress enough how well how well that Gangplank really did turn out for them. I think Genobi definitely called it there in the pregame. How well that, how well that champion really goes for them. Also, the Lissandra didn't come up as big this game as it did last game. So I think this game right here was a little bit more one-sided than the first game was for the side of the Templars. Willie was just really on point with all of his headbutt polarizes in the bot lane. It created a ton of pressure, and Graves, we saw Graves down there for quite a bit of ganks. And really, it took the pressure off the top lane. So Phoenix was pretty much I think he had really only 1 gank from, I believe, the jungler from the side of eSports, whose name escapes me at the moment. From Graves, rather, on the side of eSports, he pretty much didn't get a lot of pressure on him and was able to stay really far in these games. Got 2 invites right here. Trying to figure out who's who. Okay. Well, anyway, and yeah, really that Gangplank was just able to skyrocket in the late game. He got his farm, he got his items. Even Shen couldn't stand up to him in lane, so he just constantly had that push up there. And that took out a big part of the team for the esports. So really, I think going into this next game, I wonder if esports will ban out the Gangplank. I feel like it's something that they definitely have to do. And honestly enough, it's really scary that they, even with the Graves, they weren't able to pull out that win. We just didn't see the pressure coming out early from Graves. There was really no kills left in lane. A couple ganks he had bottom were really close, but Boosted as well as Willie were able to get out of him fairly easily. So it's kind of interesting here that even with some of these OP picks that they weren't able to get out. So very well played that game by the Templars. So we are going into game 3 here. Very contested series right now. We're 1-1 with esports taking the first game, Templars taking the second. Make sure you guys, I'm going to go for a short little break right here. Stay tuned. We'll see which champion gets selected for the random mid this next game. Maybe we'll just all random, all mid. Next level. Yeah, still looking for in the chat if you want to hear some music in particular. Just let me know and we'll go ahead and play that. But for the time being, we will just get some animals as leaders going. Oh, actually, yeah, we'll get that going. Just realized that my mic was muted the entire time. What a super nerd. Talked through this entire pick ban phase to myself. You guys could all Kappa Ross in chat and laugh at me. What a loser. Anyway, if it means anything, I actually completely called the Tristana pick. So far, that's the only one I've called so far from the side of the Templars. They do leave Deft back open his Lysandra, so it looks like we actually are going to see Rennar on this Yasuo top lane. I made a comment that he's mostly played tanky champions so far through this series, and it would be really interesting to see him play on a little bit more of an aggressive champion. So they do decide to go through and have, yeah, it looks like probably, it could even send Rennar top with Lysandra. But it's kind of a flex spec, it could go either way. They're probably going to be depending on where this Malphite goes. They're not wanting to pair up Yasuo against a Malphite. It's going to be a really difficult match for him. So we'll see what... This is going to be our third game in a row for Deft on Lysandra. More than likely he's going to go mid with it. Regardless, he'll at least be playing the champion, whether he's top or mid lane. And it looks like we do have... And we do have the Orianna locked in on the side of the Templars. Going to throw that here on a Babolat. So we'll have the Malphite in the top lane. Definitely a good pickup. We're going to have basically this really great ball delivery system. There's plenty of champions that have it thrown on top of. And the Wombo plus his team composition is going to be really great. They have a really good wave clear with the addition of Orianna as well as Tristana. Tristana having the explosive charge, able to take out a wave pretty easily, as well as Orianna's Resonance, able to do that as well. From the side, and their team fight obviously is absolutely amazing, with the amount of Wombo as well as Kindred's ultimate coming out. Coming from the side of eSports, they do have, it looks like a very a burst-oriented comp. They really want to get Norms in with those flash headbutts, which he's already done fairly well in that first game of the series.
User joined your channel.
Oh, and yeah, that's right. We do have Swifter coming in with us for our mid-game interview. Swifter, how's it going, mate?
Good, good. How are you?
Swell. Wish I hadn't muted my mic for like that first 5 minutes. I feel like a real dork right now. But anyway, so with this pick ban right here, what did you guys get out of this? Did you get what you were going for? How do you feel about this matchup?
Yeah, I think kind of having Lysandra as a flex pick is really nice because both of our solo laners can play Lys. Then getting the Alistar again was big for us. I'm really surprised that they didn't actually take Alistar. I'm really surprised that they took Trundle instead, just because he's such a strong support. He's probably the best support right now. And they did really well with him last game, and we did really, really well with him first game. So it's kind of like that they didn't pick it is extremely surprising to me. So no, I think Alistar Corki, I mean, it's a very, very strong lane. And besides our mid lane, we have kind of the same comp that we ran first game, so I'm feeling pretty confident. And obviously with their team, like the ball delivery system with Malphite Orianna is the only thing we're really worried about. And besides that, I think we have the better team comp as far as I'm concerned. And then they also picked Kindred and Lee Sin, so kind of confusing draft for them. So I think we have the stronger comp, but it's all going to come down to execution. Right.
And that is true. That's something I didn't highlight, that the Kindred is sort of countered by the Lee Sin there, especially with all the pressure he's able to put out in the early game. So with your guys, when you're giving your closing thoughts into going into this game, where is Boy Wonder looking to put some of this pressure? We saw he was able to pressure really well in the games with the Lee Sin, the first one. He was able to steal objectives away really well as well. So are your laners playing safe? Are they playing more aggressive? Like, what's sort of the idea going into this?
Without giving too much away, Tyler's he's a really good jungler, and he knows where to be, when to be. That's all I'll say without giving anything away. So just in case anybody's listening or whatnot, yeah, he knows where he's going, and we've talked over a plan of where he needs to be. So he's really, really good at being aggressive, and he has really good synergy with our players, especially in the jungler, and he is kind of our shot caller. So the players trust him and the players listen to him. So when he makes a call, it's usually executed really, really well. And so yeah, I don't think he'll have a problem this game. He proved it in the first game that he was doing really well in Lee Sin. Obviously with those smite steals, 3 of them on the Dragon, so I don't think he'll have a problem in this
Yeah,
game.
and he had the one on Baron as well. So I mean, he had 4 steals total that game. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, he was really good.
So another player that I kind of want to touch on is Rennar. So we've seen him play pretty much just tanks so far this series, and I believe even times I've seen him in the past, I've seen him play Gnar as well in the past. So seeing him on a somewhat carry right here, how comfortable is he on this Lissandra, and can we really see him come up as big as we've seen Deft in these plays?
Honestly, like my main goal with all my team is to play basically like every champion. We have really large pools, and as much as we do like to have Rennar on more utility tank top laners because he does excel at pressuring people even with tanks, he can carry and he can play these carries, and he's done it before. He's definitely not his first Lissandra game, so he knows what to do, and as much as he has been playing a utility role for us as in the past, he can carry, and I don't know, I'm excited to see his Lissandra. He's done really well on it before, and I think, you know, he'll do really well on it again. And it's a Lissandra Malphite matchup again, this time different lane, obviously, but yeah, it's the same matchup, and Lissandra has the edge in that matchup, so as long as everything goes okay, I think she'll be able to pressure the Malphite pretty well.
Well, I mean, unless he goes full AP Malphite. We saw
Yeah,
it.
full AP, yeah, that's true, that's true.
All right, well, thanks, Swifter, for joining us here. Appreciate the interview, and good luck to your guys in this game.
Thanks, man.
All right, take it easy.
User left your channel.
So there we go, guys. The vote of confidence here coming from Swifter and his boys, thinking that they have this game in the bag. As far as giving the team comp away to either side, it definitely... I can't give a distinct advantage to either one, because he does point out the distinct... the jungle advantage that Lee Sin has going into Kindred. They do find Boy Wonder here in the jungle. The majority of the Templars are engaging onto him. We have the explosive charge on. Not too much done, just one flash burned. So good job on the Templars to hold on to their... Oh shit, you're right. I'm so sorry. It's getting late. It's way past my bedtime. Sorry, fam. Anyway, game 3. As we saw, there was aggression onto Boy Wonder in the jungle. So that was just a little stuff that we missed. Nothing was burned except for Boy Wonder's flash. So overall, I mean, I guess it was a positive trade there. Find the side of Templars. They're able to get a successful invade off. So it'll be interesting to see whether Boy Wonder decides to go for an early invade here. He doesn't have his flash, so going for an early invade is going to be a little bit scarier for him. And maybe that's just the advantage that Skill Drizzle needs in order to get himself ahead in this sort of matchup. So it'll be interesting what he decides to do. He does decide to go for it, red buff, so not going to invade Kindred at the blue. And we already have Willie here going aggressive in the bot lane, getting that aggressive ward in the lane bush. And we have Boosted here constantly pushing the wave, trying to get underneath the turret. Corki isn't exactly the best AD carry at clearing out minions underneath turret. It's kind of awkward with the extra magic damage that he does, getting some of those auto attacks off early. You can see he's got one minion got to 1 HP. Looks like he was able to get both. Norm's helping him out a little bit. And already we have Deft getting a little bit of an advantage here in the mid lane. Already getting the damage down onto Babolat. Getting the CS advantage. The Thunderlord's proc right there. Already going in his favor. Norm's going in for the headbutt to get the execute right there. That was very well played. And he gets the pulverize on both members of the Templars. It's a great play by Norms. And like Swifter was saying earlier, we're really looking for this Alistar to come up big for them again in this game. He's already shown to be really impressive in this series. So I just wonder what exactly he decides to do here. Here in the top one, looks like we don't see the full AP Malphite starting to come up. Phoenix is going to be playing it just a little bit differently. We already have a gank here coming up from Skill Drizzle, looking to get it in. He gets the E off on Rennar, and the last proc does come off. It's going to have to send... He does start off. He does still have a potion left. He's going to pop both potions, and it's going to keep Rennar in lane. But very scary for him. Skill Drizzle might just come around here and try to get back on top of him. He's waiting it off right here. He's going to go ahead and go back to base. So it's going to stave off some of the aggression here from the Templars. Norm's here looking to get that headbutt pulverize, who's just barely in range. But it's going to be difficult for AJ to follow up with that far away. Deft jumping into a lot of minions here. He's taking a ton of minion damage. Could see Babolat go aggressive. He decides against it. He grabs the cleanse rather than an ignite. I think if we should have seen an ignite out of him, it would have been a very different story. E landing again onto Skill Drizzle. The Ring of Frost lands just in time. The Seismic Shard does go in, and the kill going over to Phoenix Galestorm. Great gank there coming from Skill Drizzle, and Templars pick up the first blood. So we can already see right here the amount of pressure that Kindred puts out in this early game, especially if he's just not being pressured by Lee Sin. Lee Sin is coming here into the mid lane, waiting to get that resonating strike on him. But the flash gets Babolat out of the way just in time. Headbutt pulverize, landing onto boosted. The exhaust going down, kind of mistimed right there. He does jump out of the way just as boosted was exhausted, and a lot of damage going back onto Norms. As well from Trundle's passive, Willie's going to stay pretty healthy here in this lane. So overall, a trade going in favor of the Templars right there. With Skill Drizzle here, looking here in the mid lane, trying to find something. This wave is about to even out here in just a second. And we've seen Deft here kind of mercilessly pushing in this lane. I wonder if he'll still go in for some of these last CS. He gets that wind wall to block a couple auto attacks. This is more than likely to surely send him back. We have Skill here in the bot lane. Trying to find the aggressive. Looking for that Ice Pillar right now. We get the Ice Pillar, but not in time to interrupt the Valkyrie from AJ. We have that... Excuse me, the Explosive Charge gets fully procced onto Norms, but just not enough damage to take him out. Kind of confusing there. We didn't see any jumps there come from boosted, with just some of that slow, as well as the extra damage. He could have got that off twice on a Norms. Would have almost surely been a kill. We see those Phosphorus Bombs just still doing so much damage there. Too boosted. We're not doing a good job keeping the CS up. Whereas this full tank Malphite is still doing quite a bit of damage here. He's only got a little bit of armor here in the Glacial Shroud, but he's still sending Rennar out of lane. More than likely he's going to pick up the Catalyst right now. Something to give him a little bit extra sustain here in lane. But he does decide to stay, and Phoenix is going to match him. Looks like Def is going to go for a little bit of extra CS and just steal away some of the Wraiths. He only grabs one. Goes in and gets his ward there as well. He's going to go ahead and help Boy Wonder here with the Sculler Crab. And we could see both members here going into the mid lane for a gank on Babolat. So we see just Def right now. He's waiting for Babolat to step up. They're going to go for more than likely the ward jump. He doesn't quite have... He does have it procced up right now. He's going to look to grab... Ooh, the Shockwave landing on both members. Gets him out of the way. Resonating Strike does land, but he decides to not go in for the kick. Very well played there by Babolat. Keeping himself safe and still getting quite a bit of damage returned. Trundle is seen going here into the jungle. Sort of just being an annoyance here. The side of the eSports guys. Quite a bit of CS here for AJ to grab underneath the tower. He's still staying, even CSing under tower right here, is still staying even with AJ. Actually going above him now. It's really testament to a good job here that he's doing. Out of these item builds, we do see that Skill Drizzle decides to go for the Challenging Smite rather than the Tracker's Knife. So we're going to have a little bit more vision coverage coming from the side of eSports. So we do have the Last Breath here goes on to Bablat in the mid lane. Quite a bit of damage being returned. Deft is doing a pretty good job, but we do have Skittles waiting on the wings. They see Boy Wonder coming right over here. And we have Skill trying to go in on this. Willie was almost in position, but not quite. And we have 4 members here from the side of Templars, and a very good smite. Boy Wonder has just been on top of those smites. The Dragon Rage hits 2 members. We do have boosted jumps right on top of both of these carries. Kind of a questionable call, but we have Norms right there in the wings. Ready to go in on this. Resonating Strike lands his in on it boosted, but he takes the shot, and IE Norms goes down from that right there. The Buster Shot sent Boy Wonder back into his team. Phosphorus Bomb does land, so a lot of low health bars on the side of Templars. Low health bars on the Templars. Zero. So much damage being done here in these fights. And really, the Templars are coming out ahead for the most part. They do grab that 1 kill. Do have the pink ward in the bush. Ward we easily cleared away from AJ. Musa was a little questionable his positioning in the last fight, but it did end up paying off for him in the end, and he grabs that first kill. Willie trying to see what these ice paths can actually net for him in these fights. We haven't seen a really big one come up yet to stop a Valkyrie, but I'm sure we will. So far, looking for the advantages in the lane. It's looking like it's going over to the side of Templars for the most part. They obviously have the 2 kills. The big, pretty sizable CS lead in the mid lane. And with the top lane having that early kill going onto Lysandra, Phoenix was able to grab himself an early Spectre's Cowl, which is going to keep him very healthy in the lane and able to get him ahead through this. So guys, it's still pretty early on in the game. Let's go ahead and vote in Twitch chat. Who do you guys think is going to win this series? We're 1-1 right now, tied neck and neck. Vote with hashtag, let's see, eSports win. It's a $. eSports win or hashtag Templars win. Come on, Joey, you noob. Use the hashtags. You're so 2000 and late. So looking here to find, trying to find some of the foothold here from eSports, where they want to start moving this game. We haven't seen a lot of pressure coming up. Ooh, and we do have the sombrero coming out from Babolat here. Willie looking to get back in there. He does get the last win strike. The Q coming in, but that's the rest of the team coming in behind him. The Dragon's Rage back, and then Boosted is there just in time in order to Buster Shot and take out the rest of them. Skittles decides to not take his ultimate. He doesn't get the heal from it. He has to try to jump out to get away from the rest of the team. The Unstoppable Force landing onto AJ and Norms. Excuse me, and Boy Wonder as well. Able to take him out fairly easily. The Pulverize lands there onto Willie. Phoenix is trying to find that kill, and he does get him in the end. Looks like Willie as well as Boosted are trying to stay on this Rennar right here. Norm's looking to come up from behind. Seismic Shard does land, and that last auto attack from Boosted is going to take him out. We do have that jump reset is on to Boosted. The Seismic Shard again coming onto Norms. That proc goes go through, and we have another jump ready for Boosted, but he doesn't quite have the mana. That last auto attack, oh, he did have the mana, just decided not to use it. That last auto attack from Phoenix is going to finish off onto Norms right there, and he does go down. So overall, really well played there on the side of Templars. They do lose the Dragon to that because they kind of like reacted late. But even with that late reaction, that still pays off for them really well. There goes the last strike into him, waiting for that Phosphorus Bomb to come out from AJ, just throwing through the rockets. Quite a bit of damage done. but Def does take a couple turret shots from that. It sort of evens out some of that trade. Looking for blunders, looking for an insect play there onto Willie. He throws down the ultimate, the subjugate onto Norms, trying to get some of those resistances back, but he's in the middle of the Templars team. He's not going to be able to live through this long, and there down he goes. Babolat there, very low health in the backline. Boosta just walks up just far enough to get that buster shot onto Deft, and he's pretty much deleted there in the mid lane. Just too much jumping around, couldn't find himself. But we do have Renar as well as Boy Wonder waiting off in the wing, trying to come up behind the side of these Templars. Babolat as well as Skittles are really low. A really nice pulverized headbutt, and the Frozen Tomb does land onto Phoenix. He grabs the Unstoppable Force right afterwards. It takes out Norm. Skittles lands down his ultimate at just the perfect time in order to save his life. That's going to save him and Babolat. Unfortunately, Boosta did fall in that last engage. That was a really great headbutt pulverized combo there from Norms. The synergy on this team is really showing off very well as that very split-second timing there on the Kindred ultimate to save both him as well as Babolat. That was a really great job there on that play. So here we're looking to see eSports sort of trying to pick up this lead right now. A couple members in the mid lane. They were really throwing a lot of focus here on the mid lane tower, which I think is very appropriate since we know that Babolat likes to random his mid laners. Trying to put him in his element here by sending everyone mid. I'm sorry. Just laughing at where's all the white women at? I do not know. Spelunker. That's a very good question. If you do find out, please let me know. We have Boosted here going onto the bottom lane. He gets that explosive charge with some of the damage down onto AJ. He sends the buster shot a little early, doesn't get the damage down. He uses the heal just in time to get out of the range of the phosphorus bomb, but he's not able to orb block well enough to take out AJ. That Gatling gun and all that damage on top of it was able to take him out. So down goes Boosted in the bot lane. Looks like obviously Boosted right now. We did have the Ref Herald pick up and put onto Deft here in the mid lane. They're still trying to siege down this tower right here. Steel Tempest landing onto Babolat. Phoenix comes up just in time. Looking to clear out some wards. Really looking to come in here on Deft. The wind wall does land. Not able to get a lot through. Phoenix might be looking for a dive right here, as he decides against it. Being at 4-0-2 right now, he's pretty massive as a top laner tank. It looks like right now, as they decide to siege up here in this mid lane, they decide to not get a lot out of it. Without Tristana being there, they really don't have a lot to get up there and take that turret. The attack range of Kindred is just way too low. Excuse me, way too short range in order to get in there and grab it. And Renar's split push paid off to grab him a top lane turret. Ooh, we do have the Unstoppable Force with the Shockwave going on top of AJ as well as Colombian Def. So a lot of low health members being engaged upon. Renard's able to teleport into this fight, and the eSports are able to just completely demolish the side of Templars. And all the flashes, Renard coming up huge. The question before this game whether Renard could play carries or not has definitely been answered. He can play them absolutely beautifully. He was able to get that perfect teleport in. He grabs the Ring of Frost after everybody has been knocked up and CC'd a little bit. It was just absolutely superbly played. Great job to eSports right there, and they grabbed 2 turrets out of it. Looking to go ahead and grab a dragon off of this as well. They already have the first dragon, so this could be another game that we see 5 dragons going over to Imperial eSports. Bringing it up now to a 4K gold lead. Steel Tempest has not landed anybody. Looks like they're going to have to sacrifice Norms here in this fight. Going over, but the rest of the esports crew is able to get out right here. Trying to find the advantages here from the side of Templars. We do have quite a bit of items that are already built up onto boosted. He's got his Infinity Edge finished. He's just looking to grab that next Zeal, and then we're going to have a pretty big power spike coming from him. But already in one level, AJ is going to have level 11. He's already got his Triforce. It's a pretty big spike already for the side of esports. As well as the Static Shiv has been finished from Deft here in the mid lane. And we already have 6 stacks on Lyssandra's ultimate, or Lyssandra's Rod of Ages. We do have a lot of aggression here going up into the top lane. Boosted was not engaged upon at all in that fight though, and he's just able to sit in the back and get those auto attacks down. The Dragon's Rage does land onto him, but it doesn't get him in the range of the rest of his team. Templars are on the wrong side of the map here, looking to get some engagements off. We do have Orianna joining the fight here, looking to get that engage off, but Norms stops it off with that Headbutt Pulverize combo, and the last breath lands on the majority of the members of Templars. They're going to go ahead and take out Willie as well as Skidrizzle here in that fight. But they do lose Norms as well as AJ. Who just that fight. Norms really is putting himself in the middle of these fights and really getting these great engages done for the side of esports. Definitely really great job on this Alistar play. Able to get the damage down. Looks like Deft is looking to get this engage off. They're trying to find which member to get it on. AJ's got a rocket landed. He gets the big one landed onto Babolat. Valkyrie's in, and that auto attack procs the Thunderlords and takes out Babolat there. Looking to find some aggression. We do have this last outer turret here on the side of Templars that they want to take out. With only Skilldrizzle moving here into the bot lane, I just don't see any way for him to be able to defend it, but the whole side of esports decides to leave. They see the aggression come out from mid lane from Boosted, and they don't want him to be able to take out these easy turrets like this. So they're going to go ahead and back up Norms in the mid lane. So looking to really hold on to their turrets this game. They so far only losing one. Interesting. So Ibis mentions that Orianna should have won Rod of Ages this game. And with all of the, basically the burst damage that they're putting out from the side of esports, yeah, I would definitely say so. He's going to barely even have the time to throw his Zhonya's down. If he does throw his Zhonya's down, he's going to be bursted out almost immediately afterwards. Because he's already seen in these fights, he's just not able to get in range to get much done. And then when he is, his team is himself or his team is bursted out almost instantly. I don't know who the Devil's Toaster guy is, but Ori with our Roa is definitely getting played fairly often, especially with the Roa buffs not too long ago. Damn, and then Nor's with another beautiful headbutt pulverize combo. We see with Babolat, again, no Zhonya's just not able to get anything done here. Skirzel is going to run right into Deft. If not, he's going to run right into that Rocket of AJ. And he's going to go down as well. So far, 2 for 1 in this engagement. Still looking to find more members of the Templars. But it looks like eSports is going to take this focus here in the mid lane possibly, or just the Scuttler Crab. Okay, we're going to go into the bot lane. But there's still 3 members here, excuse me, on the side of Templars. They're just going to go ahead and have Malphite take up that mid lane turret. But is he going to be able to? Sort of trying to move out of the way right here. So eSports have grabbed himself a turret. Headbutt Pulverize combo does not land onto Boosted. Renar's still just trying to clear out this majority of these minions. We do have the Unstoppable Force, lands onto Norms, but the ultimate has already been procced onto Alistar. They're looking to try to get some of his damage, but the ultimate going down from Renar, all those turret shots were landed. Zion's coming through. Boy Wonder trying to get in range. The Resonating Strike does land on the skill drizzle, but there's no members of his team to follow up on it. With 4 members of the Templars being here, definitely getting a little scary for them. They're just going for a base race at this point. The Tier 2 tower has already been taken out from the side of Templars. And they're looking to return for another Tier 2 of their own. Shockwave does land with the flash. Boy Wonder with a beautiful Lee Sin play. The Dragon's Rage coming out again. He misses with the Resonating Strike. He's going to put a Safeguard out of the way of the Command Resonance. Looking to go up behind Gablat. He's got his... With the Resonating Strike landed, he gets his cooldowns back, and the Cripple is able to finish him off. Great mechanics here coming out of Boy Wonder. And he takes out the mid laner from the Templars. Really great play by him right there. Yeah, definitely. That Lee Sin right there was definitely beast-like. That was so impressive. As Swifter said earlier, this guy's kind of the shot caller of their team, so really expect for him to be the one that come up big in a lot of these plays. And he's definitely showed it so far in this series. Looking at some of the vision placement right now, we see the esports guys really are going to be focusing more towards the bot side. We have almost all the tier 2 turrets taken down there, with only one inhibitor being left open. We saw in that last sort of base race sort of thing that Deft as well as AJ were able to crack the base and grab that inhibitor tower. So they have that whole side of the jungle warded where they're going to try to make their next bit of pressure in that bot lane. AJ has the package right now. They might be looking to get an engage off right here. The side of the Templars are fairly grouped right now. This is a team that's going to be definitely really difficult to engage on top of once they're all put together. And they do see, with the side of esports going towards that dragon, they're going to go ahead and try to rush down this Baron. But they're essentially kited off. Esports saw it coming, and they're going to stop it. Unstoppable Force lane is on only 2 members, just onto Renar and Norms. Ooh, a 3-man headbutt. The last breath comes through. Lots of damage going down. AJ was able to get in the very back line of the team. And that's all of the carries going down from the side of Templars. What amazing engage here coming from the side of esports. Virtually nobody going down, nobody even going low HP. They had Renar flash into the back of that fight. He was able to get off the ultimate. We got to see that again. We're going to jump back to that fight. I haven't done many replays in this yet. But we had Renar gets in the back of this fight. AJ goes all the way to the back. That residual damage there going through. Boosted just kind of got Dragon's Rage into the back of his team, right next to AJ. AJ's able to Valkyrie in, get that next kill off, and Phoenix is still in the middle of all the esports guys, and he's taken out very easily. Man, that was such an amazing fight. Alright, we're going back to live right here. Not a whole lot different. We just had that Baron buff taken up, and they're going to go ahead and rotate down and grab that dragon. Interestingly enough, we see AJ decide to go for the Bloodthirster this time rather than rushing the Infinity Edge, really respecting the amount of damage that they can put out from this team. There's really a lot of wombo down, and if he can dodge the initial wombo, the Bloodthirster is really going to keep him healthy in a lot of these team fights in order to get a lot done. More than likely with this next BS sword, it's going to be the Infinity Edge out of him, and that's going to pretty much seal the deal in this game. As soon as that next Infinity Edge is picked up, the amount of burst damage that's coming out, I know Tristana just can't stand up to it. She's really got to pray to RNGesus that she can get out of this game. So we see right here, still struggling to find a spot in this game, is Skill Drizzle as well as Babolat. Having a lot of issues here transitioning into this mid game. We have a decent amount of items finished on both sides of them, but just not able to come up big in these fights. I don't believe we even saw that Skill Drizzle able to ult in that last engagement. We do have the 4-1 split here coming out of the side of eSports. It looks like Templars are just now realizing that Rednar is pushing that top lane. He's going to get that tier 2 turret out of it. They do send Phoenix in order to match him up there. He gets the seismic shard off, but even with his one magic resist item, the Abyssal Scepter that's coming out of Rednar is going to give him quite a bit of damage into this fight. With all those members grouped up here, I'm just waiting for this Norm's Headbutt Pulverize combo. This is something that they're really sort of kind of holding on and playing this game patiently as far as what they want to do with this. So we do have Point Wonder making some of the fancy plays, just getting a Resonating Strike on Sue. Malphite there in the mid lane. Incredibly tanky though at this point, with the extra Chain Vest built and that Frozen Heart already. Trying to find a foothold in this game. Looking to see another member. They're sending all 5 members mid lane on the side of eSports, and it's really just delaying this game out. They have this 10k gold lead. We need to see all these members group up and get in and get something done. They were doing well before with the 4v1 split push, and Rednar can definitely go toe-to-toe with Phoenix's Malphite. So I'm wondering, well, what is their game plan right here? We see a lot of teams struggle when it comes towards the end of the game, trying to finish the game out. And the more you give an advantage here to the side of Templars, the more they can come back in this game. With a Wombo being as nasty as they have it, if they can land it off perfectly and they get a couple more items, they're really going to be able to turn the tides of this game regardless of how far behind they are. Just because of their ability to kind of single out and take out all members of eSports at once. But so far, it's been the side of eSports that's been the ones getting that done. Really, Rednar's Lissandra play has been absolutely superb in this game. Go ahead and taking a look at some of the item builds. We do, with the majority of the members on the side of eSports being AD damage, Phoenix is going to decide to go for the Thorn Mail. Interesting though, because of the amount of magic damage that Rednar is putting out, as well as the passive AP that AJ has as well. So again, not exactly the best pickup. I think more health might have been a little bit better for him. The Flash Headbutt Pulverize there, coming out of Norms. They get the cripple off, and Booz is going to QSS the cripple too in order to get himself away. So that is Summoner's Burned there from Boosted. His Flash is taken away as well as his QSS. And the QSS is actually something that's even bigger in some of these team fights, now that we know that Rednar is looking for a lot of those squishier targets to get his Frozen Tomb on. So that definitely, if anything, makes him a little bit more of a target. Getting a little bit of that split push going. AJ does have the package down in the bot lane. Makes him a little bit safer here when he goes for some of these more aggressive trades. He knows that he can really clear a lot of distance with that. And it looks like they're going like a 1-1-3 split. Although not engaging at all, they're leaving. Renar's playing it back. He sees his team is going back as well. So Super Sniper, to your comment about not understanding the Kindred pick in this comp, I feel like I definitely understand it because you have the ball delivery system with the Malphite. They're looking to have a really big front line go in right there, but they also see the amount of dive potential that eSports has. So with your backline, because you see these 3 members right here, Alistar was able to get back in on those 3 members. They're just waiting for Skilldizzle to throw down his ultimate and save everybody, and there he does. Unfortunately, he doesn't get it onto the squishy targets, which I believe is what was intended. But eSports just go through and they just make the rounds of the team right here. His Headbutt Pulverize is landing really well. They're just going to let Willie walk out of this. And they're going to go ahead and shift their focus here into the middle lane. But I believe it kind of showed off right there. You see where each teammate sort of stands. It's almost like a line of scrimmage there. with those 3 carries being in the back line, they wanted to have that Kindred ultimate there to try to save the rest of his team. At least in theory, that's the way it was going to work. The way that Boy Wonder has played this, though, and kept the team CC'd so well, Boy Wonder as well as Norms, they just throw them all over the map. And that's going to definitely be the game for this. Finished out, IE eSports win the series 2-1. Great play by them. Really well played. I think if I had to vote for an MVP this game, I would definitely give it to Boy Wonder. His jungle prowess just really came up big the whole time in this series. He was really impressive. So yeah, I think what we're going to do, I believe all of the games, since this was a 3-game series, I would definitely bet that the rest of the esports teams are done for the night. So we're going to try to get Swifter in here to get us an around the league update for the end of week 2. Excuse me, this is for week 3. This ends up week 3. So week 3 now
User
being
joined
finished.
your channel.
We go to Swifter here.
Hello.
All right, give us an update around the league.
Okay, so of what I know, Vanquish beat Atomic 2-0, which was really big because those were the 2 teams that are in the relegation spot, so it was big for one of the teams to kind of get ahead. And Atomic was the one that actually had gotten the win before, and Vanquish was winless, and then they got their first 2 wins tonight, so that was big. They won 2-0, then Crown lost to Titans 2-0. Titans remain undefeated. They're pulling a Fnatic right now, doing a really good job. I think they're 12-0 so far this season, so they're doing really, really good, which was surprising because Crown was in second, and I thought Crown would give them a little bit of a harder time. But yeah, no, they played really well, and they deserve their record right now. And then Black beat Legion 2-0 as well, which was big news again because Black was the team that was down 4 points. Yeah, 4 points. So it was really big that they came back and won both series this week, and now they're back in playoff contention. They're actually now in 5th place. So yeah, it's really big for Black, and they've done a lot to come back into this league. So, yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, these games pretty exciting today. I guess since we have you in here, you are the coach from your esports guys. Pretty excited, I'm sure that you guys were able to pull off the 2-1 victory. And it definitely came through pretty much just like you said. You were looking for the big plays to come out of Boy Wonder on Lee Sin, and he made those. He just did just that.
Yeah, and honestly, like this game, as I said going into it, I kind of just thought we had the better comp. Skill Drizzle picking Kindred into Lee Sin showed that it wasn't the best pick. Then giving us Alistar felt like it was a huge steal for us. Like we got the Alistar and the Lee Sin, which were 2 picks that they won with in the second game. So I just felt like their team they played pretty well. But ultimately, we played a lot better. And I think Rendar answered the question of could he carry, and he did a really, really good job this game on the Lissandra. I thought his build was really well, how he got the Rod of Ages first, and then kind of went for the Hourglass and whatnot. And he knew what to do, so I'm really proud of him. And even though, I will say now that it's after the game, I didn't specifically pick Yasuo for Deft. We actually picked Yasuo to deny it because we saw the Malphite pick, and we knew Phoenix played Yasuo. We knew actually that was his main champion, so we went with the Yasuo just to deny it from Phoenix. And actually, it's not our most comfortable mid lane, but it ended up working out pretty well, and yeah, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, definitely. I could kind of tell through that game that Colombian wasn't exactly the most advanced on him, but I mean, definitely great job picking Banning to grab it away because we saw from the engages that they got with a Yasuo on the other team, it would have been a lot more difficult. That's for sure. So definitely great pick bans coming out of your guys.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So that is. Do you got anything else to add before we head out there, Swifter?
No. Thank you for everybody for tuning in, and we start again next week. But I'm sure you'll do all that stuff. So yeah, thanks everyone.
Yeah, but again, thanks everybody. This has been Imperial Esports, the end of week 3. Make sure to check back into our subreddit. It'll have the power rankings after the week. We'll have that here within the next day or so. You can tune in. I'll have the VODs posted on the subreddit as well. with YouTube links and all that jazz. You'll be able to go back and watch the series. Unfortunately, with a little blunder there, we did miss out the first minute and 20 seconds of the first game, but you didn't miss much. Anyway, this has been Blue with Imperial Esports. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Vodka Bear, to answer your question, you can see those power rankings on the subreddit. There'll be posts through there. Go to reddit.com/r/IE Esports. That's where you can go to find all the news around the league, things going on. Find our Twitter. Tweet at us at Imperial Esports LOL. Do all the social media things. And thanks, guys, for tuning in. We'll see you next week.